Hiya, welcome to Transformers the Show, number 167. On tonight's show, we've got a load coming up, including a discussion about recycling our boxes. Plus, we've got our top 5 bots, which came back from the dead as an Easter special. And we've got all the Hasbro reveals. It's all that and a whole lot more in Transformers the Show. Let's go.
May I have your attention, please? This is the captain of your ship! I'm sorry. We found this way! You left me broken hearted! But I never loved you anyway. No, I never loved you anyway. No, I never loved you anyway. No, I never loved you anyway.
Hey everyone, welcome to Transformers the Show. Alexis just dealing with a police incident and will be with us, no doubt, soon. Happy Easter, everyone. Happy Easter, Andy.
Happy Easter, mate.
Happy Easter, Jamie.
Happy Easter, Paul and Andy.
The gift.
It's happy Easter, Jamie.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Chocolate.
Anyway, thanks for joining us.
Talking of expacular gifts, we've got some extraordinary news from Hasbro, which will probably kick off the news because there's fucking loads of it, isn't there? So let's do news.
There's lots.
Sorry, you were saying?
No, I was just saying there's lots of news. Carry on.
I jogged some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Oh, well, just quickly before we start the news, we need to say something. Massive congratulations to Lee, who's getting married this weekend.
Yay,
So,
congratulations.
He slow
Lee.
rolled that.
Oh,
He
well
actually
done.
asked everyone in the chat, what's everyone up to? Everyone said anything. And then someone finally said, Lee, what are you up to? Not much, just getting married, that's all. So congratulations to finding some marriage.
I like the idea that he's getting married right now, but he's still watching the show. He's just got it
I
on.
think it's this weekend. I don't think it's in the ceremony.
Well, it's scandalous.
Right, let me get the news up, which I think is this one. Oh, cool.
Okay. Right. So we had the Hasbro Pulse fan event, fan stream, whatever we call it now, where they do the reveals, and they actually revealed some stuff this time. So for anybody who's, I don't know, been off planet recently, this is the new Nemesis figure. Now it's just the kind of prototype for the moment. What's it? They call it the test shot, hence the funky colors. But this is going to be the counterpart to the arc that we've already had.
Roughly,
Based,
this was
of course,
Fisher Price.
Fisher Price, my first type.
Rescue Bots.
Although actually the arc feels a bit that way sometimes. But anyway, here it is. So yeah, and it's going to be the first female Titan, if they really have male and female in Transformers. But you know what I mean. So there you go. And that's it in its robots mode. Now, again, it's a test shot, so there will be changes before the final one. It even says that on the screen. But yeah, I mean, how did you guys feel about this?
I think it's awesome. I think it's a cool bot. It's female, male, doesn't really matter, but it's a good touch, isn't it? Nemesis, If there's anyone that deserves the name Nemesis, something that's evil, vindictive, beyond the imagination, it should be female, really, when you think about it.
A big hello to all our female viewership.
So I'm all
Or is it
for
goodbye?
that,
I think for me, like, if you said to me, like, 2 years ago, like, we're going to do an Arc and a Nemesis, and they're going to be Titan size, and they're going to turn into Transformers, I'd be like, fuck, I'm so excited for that. I don't know, like, when the Arc came out, I was just a bit... To me, this looks better than the Arc. I'm more...
It seems a
excited about
step
this than
up.
the Arc. Yeah,
I think the arc seemed
robot
easier
moments.
to change into a robot. This, I was really...
yeah.
I would love to see what the engineering on this is like, because how
It's
you
almost
get
like it's a full back to the old Titans of old, I think, with all the compartments and guns can come out and rotate. And I hope that stays. I hope that's not one of the things they decide to get rid of because of costs.
Because they got the little ramps, haven't they?
Yeah, because the thing about the arc was, apart from that one ramp, and I know the thing opens inside, it was very static. where I liked the old Metroplex and Scorponhawks, where you had things that opened up and you could put things inside. And I want those gimmicks back.
Yeah, the ramps have molded little seekers on them to represent them leaving the ship, which is quite cool. And there she is. There's the face. So when we got that Legacy, was it the Legacy Evolution? Oh, it's here. I've got it right here. I can show you now, or at least half of it. If you remember the Legacy Evolution packaging, we had this big face that everybody thought was Tarn, and then some people started pointing out, actually, that doesn't look exactly like Tarn's face. It's different. And apparently,
She's
this
got
is
a battle mask, isn't it? A battle mask
Yes.
can come down.
She'll have a battle mask that can come down in front of her face for battle. These guns on a chest and on a stomach remind me of Tidal Wave as well. So some people did say, oh, maybe we'll get this kind of redone into a Tidal Wave type bot, which is always possible. But I like it. I'm excited for it, and I do plan to pre-order it. And there you can see the ramps that we were talking about with the little.
Oh yeah.
There's one that's a Tetrajet at the moment, and one that's like more like the F-15s.
And the opposite arm has got the cone heads on. They said as well on her right.
There you go.
Right one, which does you know, it's a really good feature I think for this. Like it shows. I think I hope they continue this line of sort of like Titan bots, like because again they'll put more detail and features.
I hope not
and
too many,
but-
because my room's full of Titan bots.
Yeah, I'm gonna run out of room. Come on, think about the space, man. Anyway, right. So there you go. That's Nemesis, which is arguably the big news. It's not available. I don't think they said to pre-order till sometime in May.
Not yet,
Is that
no.
right? Is that right, Jamie? I can't remember.
Yes.
I'm sure it was May.
They say hopefully May.
Yeah.
And then I
So-
think May is also when you're going to have the Optimus Primes start to be available to be
Oh yeah, the Armada
ordered.
Optimus Prime as
and
well.
VPN one. Oh yeah.
Anyway, we're going to come to that in a bit. So then we had loads of other Legacy Evolution reveals. So Armada Megatron, which you can pre-order at the moment. So yeah,
I mean, he
just
looks
got-
okay, but I think Titan's Return one looked better.
Do you? No.
the
Yeah.
As a fan of the original Armada one, that looks far closer to what the original
The
was.
face. What about the face? Is that
The
what
face. That's the only thing that I'm not 100% convinced by. The way the face looks, but I can't tell if that's the lighting on the photo.
Yeah.
What are the robots out of Doctor Who?
Cylons.
It looks like a fucking Cylon. Yeah, is it the Cylons?
Yeah,
that
it
just-
does.
Cybermen, don't you mean?
Cybermen.
Cybermen,
That's
yes.
it, yeah.
Cybermen.
Cylons is Battlestar Galactica. I was watching that.
Yeah.
Not the lights in my head.
Superman, doesn't he? He's a bit dumpy as well, isn't he? Like his proportions are.
I don't know.
quite-
Armada Megatron doesn't have a face of evil to me. He has like a face of someone who goes to, I don't know, church group. I don't know. It's a
Well,
bit-
That's group, maybe a bit
That can
of,
sometimes be the same thing, Jamie.
in yoga.
I know.
Anyway, let's move on. We got a re-release of Dirge for just to really annoy all the scalpers. So we're going to get that, and that's going to be very nice. That has already been pre-ordered for me, and I'm sure for several other people as well. We're getting the Nemesis Prime from the. Was it
With
Elite?
painted eyeballs on the lion.
Captain
And a
Crow.
crow.
Is he called?
And a
No,
crow.
this isn't
Captain Crow.
Nemesis Breaker, is it? Is Nemesis Breaker a different character? Anyway, it's basically the repaint of that wonderful sequel
Crow
Prime.
or a
that we've had
raven on
before.
his shoulder if you want to. Whatever way
Yeah.
you want your imagination wants
He's not
to
that
work.
cool.
But
He's
it's
not
there,
that cool, Jamie. That's a regular crow.
you know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I
we've
like
got
the
that.
raven.
We've got Axel. I want to say it's Axel Grease, I think it was called, which is going to be a Decepticon Junkion because they've decided to play around with the idea of why should all Junkions be Autobots. So we're going to have this one, which is a Decepticon Junkion, and I like the colours. I think it looks interesting. I'm hoping it's not going to be
It's cool.
tried.
I don't know if Hasbro are deliberately trying to make pink the new evil for, colour.
Come on, man! Late 90s or late 80s, I should say. Transformers. Hot pink was on many of them. Just think of the Seacons.
Pink's the
It
black.
was the color for the Decepticons. It was taking over the purple.
It's a
Then we've
scary
got
colour.
DevCon. Now, lots of people are excited about this, and fair enough if you are, but it does nothing for me. I know it was in one episode of the original cartoon and all that, but yeah, and it's from. The
I would have
Blur
liked him
mold,
to be
which
Voyager.
Is he only deluxe? I don't think I was
Yeah.
paying attention to that at the time. Well, he will
He's
be
only
if he's the
deluxe.
Blur mold, won't he? Yeah.
I've always said it should be the blow mold for MP as well. Like I think the
Rohan will be loving this. He loves a bit of DevCon, doesn't he?
I think it would have been cool if they did an upscaled blood mold remolding. That would have been unique.
Beachcomber, which comes with a little Tweety bird, which is not featured in this photo, but it comes with a little Tweety bird, which harks back to at least one of the episodes. It's a Golden Lagoon, which was one of the ones where he kind of featured quite a lot. And,
Can we just talk about this for a second? This figure, because it's £25.
Yes, and
it's a mini bot. Aren't the mini bots cheaper?
Well, no,
It's a
because then Huffer was
deluxe.
Huffer and Road Ranger and Bumblebees that we've had recently. They've all been deluxes as well. Because now it's not a size class, Alexis. It's based on engineering and parts count.
Plastic.
So the idea is the engineering is going to be that good that it's worth it. I mean, it isn't. Let's be honest, because the price is still too high. But if you're going to have to pay them, well, you got to pay them. That's everything costs more now.
Okay,
Seriously,
the
seen the
Prime
price of
Wars one was really
cheese?
good.
My God, it's becoming
Cheese
a
is
luxury item.
expensive.
It really is.
Prime Wars, he was a really good beach camo.
Yeah, the little Beachcomber from Prime Wars was decent, wasn't he? But anyway, we're getting them.
So this
more
will be
deluxe
much
size.
bigger, will it? This will be the same size as Huffer.
I think it'll be about that size. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
It
they're
is.
saying.
There was a shot actually. Someone took. I don't know if it was Mark Clonus did a shot with him and Puffer actually, or Road Ranger, or Pipes it might have been, and it was at the same height. Yeah.
And then we had the core class swoop, and we also got to see the core class snarl. So that's the whole team, isn't it? I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. For this combining Dinobot team.
Yeah, it's the whole team.
The Combiner bot.
He never skipped leg day, that lad. Look at him.
Combino Dino. Dino.
Good. Anyway, let's not dwell on that too long.
Dino
Anyway, there
Wars.
they are, and there they are. Some of them, at least, as a little group. So looking nice. And there is the Armada Prime, which they did talk about, and they did show off. They showed a lovely video with the Japanese designer whose name I cannot remember off the top of my head, and it was all looking very
It
good.
seems very much designed. A lot of the Transformers actually seem to be very much getting designed by Takara, don't they?
Yeah, well, Takara and Takara certainly having a big input into it. Whether that's more or less than they had before, I don't know. But teaming up, of course, with the Hasbro team.
Those planets look quite close in the galaxy. That would probably affect the gravitational pull of that particular planet they're on as well. Like it'd be all over the place.
All right. And then they talked about some of the bots that we're gonna get. So we're gonna get a, I think they said it was a Rise of the Beasts Bumblebee, but
Wow.
could be wrong on that. It's a movie version in Studio Series.
I thought
We're gonna get a Studio Series 86 Brawn.
We're going to get
because we
Braun
haven't
at
got that.
last.
It was
Let's
Revenge of the
hopefully
Fallen.
come with a big hole in
Braun
it.
without a gun. Braun
It
without
was
a
Revenge
gun.
of the Fallen.
Yeah,
Revenge of the
yeah.
Fallen
If
Bumblebee.
he has a gun,
There you go,
you
Revenge
have
of
to
the Fallen.
return it.
Lovely.
Yeah, you have to
There's
return it.
Gaming Greats Cliff Jumper. So from
No one
the
wants.
Fall of Cybertron and Wolf Cybertron games.
They did laugh
don't want
at Braun. They laughed at Braun being on there because in the movie, because he obviously just died in one scene. So, but they said he was
Spoilers.
We've moved on.
Sorry.
Megatron. We've got the Megatron from the game to go with the Optimus Prime that they've done. So see what that's like. The original toy of that was quite good. We're getting a Rhinox Rise of the Beast style in Studio
impressive.
Series.
I can
He's got
see
a
that's
big
massive.
hump, hasn't he? Like he looks like he's like shoulder.
Well,
there,
these
like,
aren't actually
Yeah.
shots anyway of the toys. Obviously,
Okay.
these are just the pictures they've put up.
Looks like a
as
mountain.
they've got on the left, and I think they said now. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they said this was the Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime.
Optimus
So they
Prime,
said you've
yes.
got to have an
Yes.
Optimus Prime in there. So there he is. So they'll be coming along, and we'll probably see them at a later date on somebody's YouTube review about 2 weeks before the next Hasbro live stream. There's DevCon in some pictures released by Mark Lonis. As I say, a lot of people seem very excited for this. So I thought I'd show some of Mark, the Hasbro engineers, photos.
Oh, cool.
Can I ask a question? Was DevCon the first Transformer we saw, like in the episodes, that was a like a Cybertronian mode, shall we say, like spaceship? He's almost like the ultimate version of like Cyclonus, isn't he? Like in that sort of like the spaceship.
Are you asking if he was the first
You mean
Autobot we
Scourge?
saw with a Cybertronian?
Don't you
mode?
mean
Oh, he's like,
Scourge?
no, I mean, because he's cool, isn't he? So that's why I picked
Don't you
him.
mean he's the Autobot version of Scourge? That's
No,
what a lot of
because
people used to think.
DevCon's cool and Cyclonus is cool and Scourge is not.
Because
in
there
my
was a
opinion.
hypothesis, wasn't it, that he was based on Scourge, the design of Scourge for the movie.
Yeah, with the thing
He
on
came
his
out
head.
first,
and
right?
everything.
In
He
the
does
sense
have a
that he
bit
came
of a
out
look.
before. In the I know obviously
That's
Transformers
why.
Britain,
That's why we
but-
said it was based on the design of Scourge. For
But was he the
movie.
first? Was he the first one we saw on screen that was a Cybertronian mode?
No, because you had Wheeljack and Bumblebee and Jazz
and the Tetra Jets.
Soundwave and the Tetra Jets.
And strictly speaking, Shockwave, because he never changed, because he's
yeah.
just a badass.
Memory's a fickle thing.
And then you know, and then you had that episode.
Defcon was just in like one
Autobots
episode where he was
like,
a mercenary, wasn't he? He was a bounty hunter.
I mean,
kind of,
if
like,
you ignore 30 or so other Transformers in the cartoon, you
And
could.
he was. Okay, all right. I'm glad I was
told that, Alexis, live in the show.
Important point.
Anyway, there he is next to Blur, the Shattered Glass version at least, so you get an idea of how they use the same mold. Only the upper thighs and stuff look a bit similar, and then the rest looks like it's been mostly retooled. And there he is in vehicle mode, if you can call that a vehicle, but it's there. That's it.
Spaceship.
Spaceship.
Very quiet.
Spaceship. You're killing me here, man. Anyway, there it is.
Kind of like
big news. Transformer Snack are doing a competition where you can win, linked in with Rise of the Beast, you can win all expensive paid family trip to New York, apparently. There you go. So look out for your Transformer Snacks. I mean, it made it onto TFW 2005's news page, so this must be big news. I think Cybertron
Do you think
covered it as well.
GoBots do Space Raiders?
No, because I like Space Raiders and I wouldn't want to associate them with GoBots.
Is the competition going to continue the theme of baked, not fried?
The worst type of crisp.
£1 for a packet of crisps.
GoBots would be more like
kettle chips.
Are they going to continue the theme like baked?
Do you remember the no frills stuff that you got from Spa or somewhere like that?
They're going to get you over boat rather than a plane, or
no flavor.
Anyway, the Smiths where you had to have the salt bags.
Yeah, salt and shake.
It was optional.
Optional, yeah. They were posh.
I didn't even know there was such a thing as Golden Wonder. I thought that was just a myth.
The myth of the wonder.
Like the Golden Child. Anyway, Takara 2-pack of Rhinox and Scorponok with their premium paint. So
that looks awful. Sorry.
Fuck off,
you don't have to apologise. You didn't do it. There we go.
He did.
There's Rhinox.
Jamie's apologising on behalf of
Jamie.
fans.
I mean, I just don't get out of all the Transformers they could redo. Like you could think about the Jets in first, and they decided to do.
Cheetor really good, wasn't he? Imagine Cheetor.
Look at his stupid head.
Why do I look this way? Why?
That
just wants to be melted, doesn't he?
And there's a Scorponok in his
That still looks cool.
Scorpion mode, and that's the packaging for those who like their packaging. And it comes with a usual Takara type sleeve on it in black and white, because that's moodier, more artistic.
Represent your soul.
There's Optimus Primal, the one from the 2-pack, with its premium paint. And
Did we see this last week?
We saw one photo of it. These are more from Takara who are pushing us to buy this stuff. I don't see the need.
And he's on the payroll.
Loads of this, and I'm not going to cover it because I don't know what all of them are, but some of them look like reuses of toys from the last Bumblebee film, literally just slightly recolored and put into different packaging. But they're all the kiddie line stuff. It's all the one-step changes and stuff. And there's loads of it. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Wasn't that a toy in the Bumblebee line? It was like their Blitzwing.
Wait there.
Yeah.
Wait there. I've got that figure. Wait there.
Okay, I'll wait. Right, moving on.
quick.
Just pause it. I'm surprised he didn't ask us to pause.
You need to put earphones in.
I'm sure these are. These are a lot of these are just really. Oh god. Go on then. I'll wait there. I'm feeling.
Spoiler alert for pickups.
Alexis,
last thing you
it
took an hour to do the news, Andy.
Yep, there it is. That's the one. Except
Alexis,
the wings are
Oh, hang on, no, wait. I can do that. I can do that. Hang on.
Can you put earphones in?
I'll get some earphones. Oh yeah, I'll get my earphones. There you go.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. That's
earphones in. Isn't that the Cyberverse type Starscream rather than the Bumblebee movie one? Anyway, I get what you mean. It's similar. Loads of them. They're all small. They're good for little kids. If you like collecting as well, have at it. That's the deluxe Optimus Primal, which we've had more in-hand photos of, which is again from the Kiddies line rather than the Studio Series one. Again, if you're gonna rush out and grab this, that's fair enough.
I mean, that face, is not too bad. That's awful.
I don't mind the face sculpt. I think it captures what we saw on the film trailer quite well. I won't be picking any of them up. I don't care how
That's
cheap
like
they go in the sales. It's just
Yeah, that doesn't even look like an ape's head. It does.
this is it VNR? I think I said VPN last week.
But I
Anyway,
said
VNR
VPN earlier.
Optimus Prime, the Volvo-based one, and these are some photos that we got. Now these were from Prime versus Prime's review, and he took some photos, and it does actually look really good. I didn't really want it before I saw these, and now I'm kind of getting tempted. But yeah, it's very posable.
This is Prime in your good photos.
It's a different take on him as well, Prime. So it still comes with a Matrix. Still kick Megatron's
comes with a
backside.
Matrix.
I don't know. It's a subtle hint, Alexis. I just had this feeling.
Look, he's punching.
I sounded like Hot Rod in Transformers movie there.
It's a decoy. It's a trap.
And there's the Volvo alternate mode, and there he is, pulling off that Bumblebee movie pose from that first few minutes.
Well, that's
Anyway.
actually from the original movie, isn't it? The animation movie.
Well, yeah, it's
It
both.
comes over.
So,
Yeah,
go on.
homage, right?
Although people only seem to start doing it after the Bumblebee movie did the homage. But
That
anyway.
explosion, if
Oh.
I'm not mistaken, is from a Luke Skywalker Black Series.
Ah, look at you with
Could be
your
wrong.
explosion.
Does it light up as well, or
Yeah, it does.
does it? Oh, I'm gonna have to buy that now. That's really cool. I'll have to buy
How
that.
There's a
about you?
new pop with lights and sounds of Optimus Prime coming out. So if you like your
How
pop,
many landfills will be filled with these guys?
I never get pops. I mean, again, they're hugely popular, so maybe it's just me, but I just don't get it. But it does
Obviously
have
not
light up
popular
eyes.
enough. They made too many,
Oh,
didn't
Oh
they?
look, the chest lights up.
Do you
Didn't
know
notice that before.
that'd be a really good like a kid's night light by their bed.
Could
Like,
be, yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Have to be replacing the
Cold,
batteries a lot.
Dead eyes. staring at
In-hand
the kid.
photos of the gaming grates or whatever they call it, barricade.
Where's he got an arm? What's that?
Still
what's on
remain
the floor there?
unconvinced.
What's
I
that
don't
on the
know.
floor?
What is that on the floor?
Is that part of his arm from the other side?
I don't know.
Attached.
Anyway, there it is. As what looks a bit like a
I think
shoe.
it's great.
Batmobile.
It looks like he did in the
Apart from the peg,
game.
don't
You
know
can't
the
deny
picky.
that.
Picky walls, wheels.
And that's it for mainline news. It was quite a lot. We tried to whiz through as fast as we could. And now,
Well, I thought you'd done a brilliant job.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Check a bow, Andy.
And you.
Let's do fair pipe.
Believe it or not, this is the fun part.
Thanks, Lee, for that intro. Who's getting married this weekend?
Congrats.
Love and marry. Anyway, so Fanshobby teased this, and some people wanted it to be Broadside, but it is Tidal Wave. It's even
Oh,
been
is it?
listed, I believe, on Show Z as TW, which is a bit of a hint. I feel.
I've put in the title that it's Broadside, and I've put
But
in
maybe
the
it's
thumbnail,
Broadside. We
and
shall
I've
see.
hashtagged Broadside.
Oh, Broadside will be furious.
You
when
know
he
what?
finds
I
out.
just got because Ian the Arrowfire shared this. He put TW. I thought silly. Ian
Oh, is that his name
Well,
now? Ian the Arrowfire.
Ian. Well, I was
Let's
like,
just go with that.
That's
I
what
thought
silly,
silly-
YouTube should
silly
challenge
Ian.
me. It
Ian
should be
thinks it's
Arrow-
toy
Does he
World,
have a
doesn't he?
Cybertronian mode?
Toywell, the Cybertronian mode. Anyway, so here's some more photos that then got released after that teaser. So it's the aircraft carrier bit from Tidal Wave. You can even see the parts of what on the original toy form.
Do you know what?
Parts of
It
the hands,
looks fairly
sockets to
simple
plug in the
simple
arms.
transformation,
Because that's
right?
basically the arms. I mean,
Simple transformation.
it should be. I'm sure they'll throw in little twists and turns to hide things and move things around a bit more, than the original did. But
They're fairly simple. Fans Hobby are
Excuse me.
quite simple transformations, I think. Generally, they're chunky bots, right? They're quite
Chunky.
simple transformations. So they're very.
Oh,
solid.
somebody pointed out. Apparently, I can't see it, but apparently they've got the thing where there was, of course, part of the original Tidal Wave toy had a little lift that went up and down, like they have on a real aircraft carrier to lift up little jets and stuff.
You can see there as well the two things sticking up in the middle of the deck there.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, with
The
the
bits
jets,
there.
so you have the thrusters kick off, aren't
That's
they?
right.
So-
Yeah.
Which is quite
Yeah, I
good.
remember.
I imagine that
Oh,
would be good. That little
somebody's
bit
watched
there
Top
where
Gun.
they- well, I do wank a lot to.
You could have just stopped at that. You didn't need to get Anyway,
And you could anyone in the chat can finish your own sentences. There's a
finish yourself
plethora
off, so to speak.
There's a
So yeah, if
plethora-
we could have suggestions in the chat. What does Alexis wank to? What does Alexis Wang2. Answers in the chat.
Dolphins. We know this,
Funny
guys.
one to get
Dolphins.
shown live on
Send your
screen.
answers on a postcard to PO
Live on
Box.
screen.
You're going to get arrested. Anyway,
Start it with Alexis Wang2.
The police have redone their rounds tonight.
It may be easier to say, what doesn't Alexis want to?
it's a better question.
That's a short conversation, isn't it? There.
Teapots. I've said it now.
Should we put that into our next
Unicorn.
short?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're looking at this, Alexis, and thinking this could also be a dildo, given you our conversations earlier in the week. Everything apparently to you. Anyway, which version of Omega Supreme is this again?
Andy, you were in Anne
New
Summers.
Age. Alexis Wings to Flipper. Arrowfire's winning so far. Go bots.
Seriously, which one?
Unicorn.
This is New Age. So I'm going to whiz through these because I think we see
New Age Michael.
Actually.
So you'll see my version, Michael, come out. It comes
Peggy
this
Mitchell.
week. I'll get it next week. This is the.
I thought you had your own special version.
This is the
Regular
metallic version of him.
Ah.
And then if you flick to the next photograph, you should see him in his alternative colors, which I think this is like his Diaclone version. Then.
Yeah, this is the version of the toy that you could buy, wasn't it?
I'm sure there'll be a blue one. I'm sure there'll be a blue one eventually as well. So again, if you've got probably a couple of images of this as well, which looks quite good. Nice to have the missile turrets come out there, and he's got a. Oh, it's a
comic.
Yeah, as I say, it's a V2 rocket, isn't it?
Oh, he's looking at Ukraine. He's hungry.
Soviet Mikhail.
Then we've got the dirty version, who's not had a clean.
Dirty bastard version. The paint job on that looks good, doesn't it? And then they've also got the cliff jumper and bumblebee come out in this as well. It's like the jeans, like do you really pay for someone to fuck your shit up like this? It's like, do you not prefer the premium paint job? Do you like the dirty paint job?
Paint job.
It's a good paint job.
I think Devastator is saying that it was actually Grandstand converter colours, or he's saying that Alexis wanks to Grandstand converter
Brilliant.
colours.
Cheers, Dan.
Which one it was.
Love to meet you.
Probably both. A little from column A, a little from column B.
I know in the forum, it's someone pays. So one of the guys in there doesn't he gets paid to sort of like dirty up the Transformers, like
I thought you were gonna say he gets paid
battle damage and stuff like that.
Some people
I
like
don't
that,
understand it myself. It's some people.
The Gigapower Dinobots were some of those popular paint that apparently had the best paint job. They were dirtied up, right? They were war beaten,
like this.
Yeah, like this.
Which version of Devastator and the Constructicons is this?
Again, this is New Age again. So New Age are doing the dirty bastard versions. Toy was Dirty Bastard Devastator was one of the most popular ones as well, and that would have gone really well with the Dirty Bastard Gigapower Dinobots as well.
To be honest, with Hasbro's quality control, we get this without asking most of the time.
That's just paint chips, paint missing, or too much paint.
I just give my toys to my kids for a garden session, and I come back at the end of the day and they're like this. So
yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it exactly. Bit of sandpit action. Legends.
I thought they looked a little bit teeny and tiny. Very well detailed for something so small, of course.
Yeah.
So they are really good individual bots. They just
you know, I thought the same thing, but I thought no, I'm gonna leave it.
I'll take
the
too highbrow. I'm not.
I'll take the high road.
Magic Square one looks a bit more toon accurate. The New Age have better build materials. I think Rohan lost 4 fingers and 3 nails from when he put his Magic Square.
4 fingers, but only 3 nails. How the fuck does that work?
I don't know.
Because he kept one of the nails. He just glued it onto another finger. Now they call him Rohan 2 nails. Anyway,
legend.
Yeah, it's literally legends.
No, mythical.
These I don't know. They're very detailed.
You see Devastator. So you think I think the next shot's Devastator actually. Oh no,
now I have my views about this, but I'll let you introduce it first.
It's a good 10-inch tool, Devastator, right? It's parts forming again. Like the way they did it is in the box, and then you get this as well.
Amputee Devastator.
Do you know what? It looks really
emaciated, cool. Not being to the gym.
I think. Do you know what I think? The Legend scale version, things like this, looks really good next to the original G1 because they're about the same height. So it's quite cool how you have like the original like G1 toy, and then something which is really posable next to it. That's just my opinion, but I think that's quite cool. He's just a bit too skinny, right? This is Devastator as a teenager, really, and then Magic Square is when he's actually done, a few sessions down the gym, like Jamie, like doesn't miss leg day.
Oh,
Show us your guns,
went
Jay.
to Pizza Hut
Show us your
every
guns.
day for a month.
And then they have
There's-
similar style in terms of the paint jobs and stuff like that for a couple of other figures, don't they? So are these ones that have already been released, and this is just a repaint, or is this new?
Yeah, no, so they've done these already. So this is the 2-pack. One thing I do really love about this, actually, just quite clever about New Age, is, for example, with Cliff Jumper, you'll see in a second. So Bumblebee has a backpack. Cliff Jumper has his skis, which they had in that move in Turbo Island, and they're actually magnetic on. So the wheels that you clip them on is magnetically on there. So it's really quite clever. That's one thing I like about New Age is they do add magnets in at certain points. So like the RC has magnetic like feet, so you can put her down and pose her properly and stuff.
Sorry, I've just noticed Arafai's comment, and I'm not sure exactly what he's referring to, but it simply says, "Wow, that looks cack." Reviews from Arafai. Check out his channel.
It's the big words he uses which draws me to.
Yeah, there you go. So
He uses that fancy language that you just don't get from Prime versus
You can
Prime
see
or
it each of
anyone
the
like
skis.
that.
There's a little magnet on each of the skis. And
Getting
the
my
magnet then
Pictionary
ties
again.
Magnet ties onto the pin.
I'm going to go
on
get the thesaurus
on
out, see if I
on the
can work
wheel.
out what he's using.
So,
Yeah, I mean, Legends collectors, I'm sure you'll be very excited. I find his eyes look a bit dead. No, maybe that's just because it's Cliff Jumper and I'm used to him being dead. But anyway. And then this is, I don't know exactly what this is. What is this again, Alexis?
so this is, let me just get the name right because I'm shit at pronunciations. So this is I'll talk through it while we're getting the name up. So this is a custom 3D printed and painted kit for Starscream Deformation Space DS Starscream from Hafiz Zul, HAFIZZUL. So he's on some of the groups, and he's over in Malaysia. He sells this. He's done things before like the RC replacement chest kit and other little bits and pieces. So it's $69. You can buy it ship. I'm actually probably thinking about if anyone's interested in this. I'm looking at potentially shipping 3 of these to the UK, so there'll be 2 available, which will be at cost price plus postage. If you're interested, let me know.
Is he not giving you a discount for advertising his wares?
No,
You've not come up with some kind of agreement. That's scandalous.
should have done that in advance, really, shouldn't I?
Really?
He has subscribed. He has subscribed to the channel as well. So this is what you
I
get.
really should take advantage of my family in Singapore for Transformers and stuff, but I just can't be arsed.
So I think it works.
Admire your honesty.
It works. It
I
works.
know, trying to explain to them what one I actually want, and ended up
I think
with
it'll work out roughly about £60-70, depending on like your exchange rate to get this.
Question. There's 2 different star screens here, right?
You've got MP Starscream 52, MP 52 on the left, which does come with a coronation kit, and I do have one of those, which is a third-party coronation kit again, which was you can buy from like places like Shozi. And on the one on the right is Deformation Space. You can just see the difference in size between these 2 bots, right? I think they're both in the A stance.
Right.
So I prefer Deformation Space. I'm selling off my Seekers actually, if anyone's interested.
Deformation Space, is that the one that Pete picked one up at TFN?
Yeah,
Deformation Space.
From the Cracker.
Isn't he looking for the other ones as well?
Potentially. I mean, the Deformation Space
Possibly at mate's rates.
Deformation Space.
He's
Top.
not,
No.
but I
I'm
don't,
not selling those
Alexis isn't selling. He's not selling the Deformation.
Oh, is he not?
ones.
Oh, right.
No, I'm selling the other ones.
Sorry, I misheard. I thought you were selling the Deformation Space.
Deformation Space actually were on sale quite recently, for like 80 quid each, and they have the wing feathers at the back as well. So they have.
You know Geordie, right? Asshole, fascist.
The back is complete as well. It's a complete bot. Transformation is an absolute bitch.
Oh,
Yeah, the
shit.
back has to be
It's
important
Friday.
in this day and age.
There must be a Picard episode. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
I watched.
good.
I watched.
Oh, right, I'll have to catch
Yes.
up. This is Roller?
This is MP Roller. This is
Yeah.
a new MP. I have no idea who makes it. I can't remember. I haven't seen it advertised anywhere. Ian, if you're there, help. But it transforms into
Just generally help.
help. It
I need
transforms.
somebody help. Just
It transforms
Who's
into
just asking who's
Roller.
going to NEC Toy Fair next weekend?
I've just realised that Arafai has actually messaged me just as we were starting the show, and I didn't see it come through. Just to point out that it's not Broadside; it's up as tidal wave. We know, Ian. I'm sure you've seen that. Now.
Ian.
We figured it out. We figured it out for ourselves.
The
Yeah,
person, who
Anthony
does,
World.
the person who does all the titles for everything.
Extra
is me,
Transbots. Is it Extra Transbots? Oh, Extra
who knows
Transbots.
the
It's Extra
least
Transbots.
about Transformers.
I don't know.
So
I don't think it's
often,
I think it's Extra
often
Transbots.
the title is wrong.
You put mod fans MP roller compatible. It just says fans. Mod
Mod
fans.
fans.
It says,
So mod
with
fans.
MP
It's,
10
I haven't seen it
So
advertised
we
anywhere, but
roll
if you look at this
in
picture,
the
it has a couple of
Get that-
guys.
get that song, ready.
Dirty.
It's if
Gotta get
roller.
the-
It's if roller.
Okay.
Let's get rolling.
We're so street.
If roller was
Urban. So
transformable,
edgy.
really, and it actually scales with MP44
Edgy with our wrong
and-
titles.
We're like the vanilla ice
So
of
edgy like a
Transformers.
sphere.
So you can seat your characters in there as well, like which you get from
Seat
Magnus
them.
or from Prime, and you can see
a
it there.
cheese
It's the same
grater.
scale. You can pull Prime's trailer, like in that one episode.
We're still
And
listing
it
things
can
that
also-
Alexis
I've watched
Wank-
interest in what Alexis is saying.
It's his trailer. There we
Oh,
go.
right. Knocking everything over. Anyway, there it looks good. It looks quite good. I don't know. Does it? Yes, it does.
Does
Buy
it?
one.
good.
Why not? Someone will sell it. Brum
There
brum.
we go. That's
Anyway,
the last one, is that? That's it, is that?
news.
There we go. Sorted.
Cool.
Job done. I'll see you next week, guys.
Great job. Love you.
Are the
Thanks.
police waiting for you?
Bye.
Did they let you finish
I've
off?
got to go now. I've got to go now.
This is a motherfucking pickups.
We now return to the Transformers.
We are the Transformers show. Who would like to go first?
I can go
Andy,
first.
should we...
I was just going to say,
okay,
I'd like to see Jamie's. I'm assuming has done some pictures, and I think I know which bot.
No, I've actually only done one picture. No,
Oh,
I've not
still.
done it.
Go on then.
Yeah.
Picture.
One of
But,
the things you,
I would-
almost spoke to me.
Picture in picture.
Which one am I doing? The one.
Do
that's in this
the
auto mode?
robot one first.
Okay.
The video. Not working too well.
Right, Dano. Right in time.
All right, who broke the internet?
Paul, do you need to come to the 21st century like we are and then get some real internet?
I've got fiber.
Hypocrisy. Their name is Alexis.
Well,
Paul,
that
there's
didn't
bad
play
internet.
actually
Maybe
too
get-
well.
Hmm.
That video
Which
is
is a bit
available on
strange.
Twitter through the Transformers the Show account, though, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I'm sure in other
We'll come back to that later.
Instagram and
Yeah.
other things.
Should we come back to that a bit later?
Do you
Do that
want,
again.
shall we fill with something?
Well,
Alexis, do you want to?
yeah, well, no, I've got another one to show.
Oh, go
but,
on,
Magic.
go on then.
I got magic. Do you want to do magic? Shall I do some
Basically,
magic?
before
Okay.
going to that, basically, I won this competition. Now, remember last week, I pretty much, knew it wasn't going to be the Optimus Prime because, the way it was worded and it was obvious the picture.
What?
But
I
the
thought it was
cosplay had
Optimus
won
I
it.
thought it was Prime. I forgot it was
No,
Prime.
I won MK1,
Oh.
which is basically the sort of like the Interstellar K1, which is the Android. And it was quite clearly written actually, but they just didn't make it clear exactly. But I kind of knew it was this, so that's why I didn't go to Twitter and Instagram to say I won Optimus Prime because I kind of knew it was this, and I was proved right. But I'm still quite happy. It's still quite cool. It's still a damn good gift. And it's probably the best thing I've ever won in a Transformers competition, to be honest. Apart from obviously like a misfire, which I ended up giving back to Melshade because I already had a misfire, so I think somebody else deserved to win it.
So
But
let's
yeah,
say,
this
Jenny,
this
I know-
guy,
I know it wasn't-
this guy's brilliant, and you can control him. You can got programming and stuff like that. And Alexis has been dealing with the police tonight, and I can switch him on. So
Hello, humanity. I'm Interstellar Scout K1.
That's pretty cool.
So, there he is there. So if someone breaks into my house, what I'm going to do is I'm not actually going to hold them up like that. I'm going to put them in the carpet, switch on, and I'm going to ask them to hold back for a while, then get my Bluetooth out with my phone and wait for it to connect. Then I'm going to do some Kung Fu, so I'll go K1 Kung Fu. Right.
Can we see?
Oh,
Can we see?
I don't want him to
one
do it
leg.
because it's actually on my
Some
desk,
moves,
so
do
he'll
some
probably
moves.
fall off and crash. But no, so I'm going to
some
just
shapes,
place him
come on.
down there. I think I actually might just switch him off so he doesn't commit suicide. I don't know if that toys can, but it'll be my luck.
Excellent, humanity.
But yes, so I would use them as self-defense and program them to do housework chores, like walking to the kitchen and do nothing.
Is it quite heavy?
Kind of like me. Me Lynn was saying that actually. She was calling it, is this like fucking Megan, from that Border film?
Yeah.
She was a bit worried about that, and obviously, when this thing's fully stretched out, it's almost the same height as me, Lynn, really. But so I can see why she's a bit.
Is Maylin getting nervous now? You're going to replace her. If you said,
oh my god,
K1, get me a beer. K1, get me a beer.
That's going to take some complex. It hasn't actually got hands. I don't think the hands grip. I don't actually know. I'm not tried that out.
I hope they don't, because otherwise Alexis will be buying one.
Oh, Alexis will be using it to wank him, won't he?
Yes, that was what
Here we go. Go K1, no hands.
Jamie, I was trying to interrupt you and you rudely spoke over me. I was going to say, it wasn't a competition, but you've won our hearts.
How can I be rude when you're talking about me?
Nothing to do with anything. Well done.
Nothing. So, yeah. I know, but you've won something else in the Transformers, and that's our hearts, Jamie. So, there we go.
But yes, so I got this, and that's.
You dance to music as well? Like the video.
Yeah, he's got 40 things you can program him to do. There's quite a lot, and he's like, and I always like using them to dance to the sort of like music from Transformers the movie, which I did a post on Twitter and Instagram. And the other thing is picture poll you can share.
40 things. Sam, write down what you can do. She does competition now.
So wow.
Keep her on their toes.
What? That's really bright on your screen.
Yeah,
Paul.
and it's not showing.
Yeah.
It's not my
It
screen.
looks over exposed a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's like, wow. Is that just because of the way?
I've just noticed your branding.
Promise, it's nothing on my side.
Is it your brightness on your side at all? Or?
No, it shouldn't
No,
be.
it's coming across bright on my side as well.
Do you want to reload it? Take it
It's
off and
different
reload
to
it
what
back on.
you
Close
showed.
it.
Yeah,
Reload.
I'll try to do that.
Nick,
I'll
we
stop
talk about
screen and
this.
see if it goes.
Just if this works in the meantime.
Right.
Nope.
Share screen.
It's all going well tonight.
Is it time for magic? Nothing up my sleeve.
Well, what I'm going to do
Nothing up my
actually
sleeve.
is I'm
Okay,
just going
It's
to
time.
take off. Use HDR.
Close. Oh, I thought you were going to take off your top.
Right. So see if this is better. Right. Share that. So can you share that, Paul? See if that's better.
That was
Hey.
Right.
What was it? HDR?
Yeah, it's HDR, so obviously my monitor looks okay, but I think sharing
Yeah.
doesn't tend to work too well. So basically, this is just a picture of Skyquake. It was something I was setting up, and I was using some of the sort of like trying to work in some of the tips and info that Toy Box, Soapbox, and Sixo were talking about in the seminar last week at Transformers Manchester, Minicon, TF Nation, Minicon Manchester. And so basically, there's just a picture there. There's Skyquake. It's like a title, Hide and Seek. And the idea is you've got Halo, Master Chief, sort of hiding from Skyquake, who's up in the sky. And I wanted to just to slightly blur, so it looks better on the screen. And I don't think it translates too well on digital media. But the idea was just to blur it enough to give us a sense of depth on Skyquake, but still see the detail. So sort of like zoom in. But yes.
Is that what you picked up then from the tips, the difference in the...
No, I was working on ISO, and that was to try to give the idea of a much more shiny sort of look to it. And I'm sort of learning, so I was just focused on that. The scene in background was something I just planted there, and I just worked from there because I wanted to see about ISO. I wasn't really interested too much on the scene, So there's the original image there. And obviously I took away the legs and stuff and that which was holding it up. Just
I knew they couldn't fly. Really, I knew they couldn't fly.
Yeah,
I like it with the legs. It looks a bit like a chicken.
It looks cool. It's like water mode.
So yeah, that's just basically the stands to help. I used one stand, but I used two arms to keep up there because he is a leader class figure.
So you,
know,
take a
he's
photograph.
quite-
You take a photograph of it before and after with them at the stand to then cut and paste over the top, or how's that?
No, because I removed the stands.
How do you remove? Okay, you have to tap online.
Yeah. So all right. So I used like Photoshop Pro, Photoshop Pro, Adobe Photoshop to help remove the stands. And then what you can do is you've got other methods. You know, you can either remove the whole thing completely, but already have made a copy, and then you can put that back on and got the image. Or as you said, there's another technique where you can take one photo there of the stand and another photo without the ship being there, you know, which is quite an easy thing to do and quite a good thing. But my camera was dying, so I didn't really have a chance to do that. So I had to go with the removal of the whole thing, which worked out quite well, actually.
Looks really good.
There's the scene there, you know, just to give you an idea of how it was sort of like built up. You know, as I said, some grass from Tesco, you know, some model trees like for railways. I get the biggest one possible. The other ones are sort of one of these sort of like Japanese fake plastic sort of trees, and you know, things from a fish store, and the twigs, the twig things you can get from like Hobbycraft and stuff like that. You know, people use them to make sort of twig baskets that I just break them off and use them as twigs. They'll kind of look like tree logs or like tree broken branches. And you can get some rocks. What's that?
Which Master Chief is that? Sorry,
Master Chief is that? I was just a toy which I got with a vehicle which I was going to turn into a GI Joe vehicle. So there's the image there again. There's the sort of like original image. Once it was all cleaned up and you had the stands removed. But I wanted to show you the technique I did was I captured the ship. So because I captured the ship, I could change the blur, so I can make it more blurry to give more sense of a depth. So there's an image I would, if I was actually going to post this, if I was going to post it as a toy image, I would have used that image because it gives it much better depth and gives the focus much more into Master Chief there. But the image I posted that is because I wanted to show off Skyquake.
Can I ask a really noddy? Can I ask a really noddy question?
Yeah, go on. This is the one the picture you showed where Skyquake's obviously, you know, quite. He's not blurred, is he? He's resolute almost. Like his resolution's clear, right? Why wouldn't you just sharp? Yeah. Why wouldn't you just take a picture of him and then just drop it on top of this scene to give the same effect? What's the difference? Because the big trouble is, even though this is like Skyquake there, that's still bored down, because if he's too sharp, it doesn't match the scenery. So it doesn't match the depth.
You can tell he's been dropped on, basically.
Yeah, so it almost looks like he's been pasted in.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. You know, so what you kind of want to do. So I mean, I did it there just because you could get away with it in a big monitor. It doesn't transfer too much to digital too well, but that works. It just works. But obviously, blurring it more means it goes more into the background better. He doesn't look like he's just been dropped in, and you could get different levels of blur. Like that's another level there. So there's like there blurred. I increase the blur, and then increase it again. You know, so it starts to feel much more in depth. It starts to match the background more, and you start to think he's much further away, and it draws focus to your Master Chief, who's just slightly off center. You know, because the idea is if you think of the picture as a bullseye or as a clock face, you know, you kind of want the figure to be at, you know, 7. You would want them to be at 11, 1, 5. You know, sometimes to give it sort of more of a focus to that figure, and then have the background is like, you know, emphasizing the figure more.
Do you take photographs at different angles as well, like on here, like because
today I was just working on the ISO. I was just
same picture, but because again, like this angle here, this photograph here would look really cool if this is sort of set up like looking over Master Chief's shoulder. at Spike
you
Wake from like
with
that
the
shot,
RC
like
pictures.
that shot angle there that just doesn't have like him with his helmet
with
and
RC pictures. I did it different angles with
Yeah.
RC. So you had
Same
the,
picture.
when she was holding the head, you had one full frontal, then you had one from the side. You can do that. But today, I just wanted to talk about just giving an idea of like how I set up the shot, how I build up the sort of like diorama. And as I said before, like you asked a good question, you know, how do you move those stands? There's two ways to do it. You could either take a photo like that, then take a photo with the whole thing moved, and then all you have to do is paste in the shit, cut it out, and paste it in. Or you can just remove the stand as well and just select the subject, and then you can clean it all up much easier, and then bring the subject back. Because what you don't want to try to do is use those paint packages where you try to do little bits of scene. You want to clean up in a big sort of section. Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop's got a good thing for that, you know, which is like fill content. It's quite good, and you can use other things like Clone Blush, which is always a big help to do stuff which the AI tends to mess up.
Final couple of questions I have, I think, on this. Sorry, let's drag it out. How long does it take you to do the photo versus the editing afterwards? And how long does your camera battery last?
All right, the camera battery was going. That's why I couldn't do what you suggested. First of all, I was running at battery power, so I basically had to go for the other method, which was a bit harder to do. But in all honesty, building up the diorama, building up the scene, as you can see from the original image there, that takes a long time. It maybe takes an hour, 2 hours, you know, building it up. But once you've got it there, cleaning it up, it's about an hour. It's easier to do a clean up in these diorama pictures than it is my card shots. The card shots take more time to clean up. Here, you don't need to clean up too much. You're not too worried about dust and imperfections and things that are mistransformed, because the whole picture together helps hide mistakes and imperfections quite well. Where in a card shot, because it's just a figure and you've got a nice gold background or blue or green, you're focused on the figure. So suddenly there's lots of stuff you have to kind of fix.
A couple of small tips from me, just on, like, I think to help you get more out of your photos, which I think you might appreciate, is one, buy a second camera battery. Two,
I've got two. But the trouble is, Alexis, the trouble is you want to keep the camera pinpointed on the same
to buy something
object.
Star Trek
So if you move
website.
that camera, you have to start all over again.
I was going to say then multiple photographs for the same shot, different angles, and then I would say multiple. If you've got other and use the scene multiple times as well, so you have multiple transformers in the same scene to get the most from that scene.
I've always been doing that.
Okay, that's right. I'm sure you do. Yeah. Just my observation from when we keep
never looking at any of my photos, because that's what it says. Like.
I do look at your photos. I do look at your photos. You're just,
but yes, that's what I would say is
magician.
tips. When you build up your diorama, as Alexis says, use them for multiple different bots. The thing is, you can take things in, add things, move them out. You know, I like working with the grass because it's the easiest thing to clean up. It's still time consuming to put up, but when it comes to clean up, easy compared to the snow or cocaine. The water was a nightmare.
Okay,
you know,
very expensive photo, Jamie.
Snow cane.
You know, but anyway, sorry for taking up so much time in this. I just want to do
I need to run out again. Quick,
give an idea.
More.
It's a very good photo. It's very interesting to see the process as well, and having been with you at that little talk 6.0 and Liam did, it was nice to see you putting into
when you stood up
into
and
work
said,
some of the things I talked about.
When you stood up and said, "I've got a question," did you hold up your card and like this piece of paper just dropped out like a toilet roll, like all your questions?
Oh no, we didn't do that during the thing. It was afterwards actually. It was quite nice because Liam first, and then 6.0 with him, kind of came over to talk to us and ask how we thought it had gone and everything, and then we just got into a chat, and obviously Jamie started picking their brains, and we just had like 10-15 minutes of just to ourselves while other people were stood around listening.
I mean,
it
was
we
just
knew
like
what we
having
were talking
sex.
about. Well, Jamie,
no offense to me, Lynn, but yes, it was brilliant. it was good. It was like I really do appreciate it. Those two guys taking the time to talk about this stuff.
TF Nation voyeurism there.
And the same. I hope they do something like that again, even if they were to repeat what they did before, because I think it was so good. You know, and I think it gives confidence to people, and people should just ask them the questions, because Sixo and Toybox, Soapbox, Liam, and what's his name? Stuart.
Yeah, although I can't get used to that. Let's just call
but
him
he has
Sixo.
to be called Sixo. Yeah, Sixo Feather. Very approachable guys. Everything I wish I was. Very nice people.
Did you know Sixo's just his initials? Actually, he told me that Sixo's just his initials.
Is it? What's it? X? What?
Stuart Xavier. I don't know. I don't know his real name. I wouldn't tell everybody.
Icarus, Xavier,
Xenophobic.
Stuart, Icarus, Xavier, Oligarch.
Oligarch.
Oligarch. Oh dear me.
Paul's asleep.
on the Star Trek website.
Oh no, he's on eBay. He's on eBay.
9 o'clock tonight. They've dropped Master Replicas. Have dropped a load of rare Star Trek ships. They've got hold
It's
of.
9:01. Have you not got it in your basket yet?
Yeah, I'm going to pay for fuck's sake. Stop panicking.
He's trying to pay for it now,
Jesus
man.
Christ! Is it? Should we do Rohan?
I'm just
Should
looking
we
at
do
the comment. Someone said, "Did Alexis ask a good question?" Actually, he did. I would like you to listen to the question.
Do you know it's not April 1st either, right?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Does someone else want to go?
What? Oh, is it pickups? Oh shit, we did pickups.
Yeah, go on.
I'll go. So you saw my star screen. So what would you say is a good price for a Cyberverse star screen then? Like, you know,
£8.
I wouldn't really have a
£8.
clue, but £5 in a sale somewhere.
Jamie, what would you say is a good price for this figure?
I just wanted to say, if guys have any questions about using Photoshop, feel free to message me, and I'll try my best to help you. You know, knowledge is there to be shared.
There we go. So what do you think?
No explanation.
I'm not having this anymore.
The price I paid for this was
£2.50.
£2.50.
Charity shop?
There we go.
Did you know
There's a charity shop near us where they donate toys, and you know, people pick them up. And I remember this thing being about 30 quid, like when it first came out, and the boys liked it, so they got that. So I also got some.
So you got it for the boys, not for yourself.
No, that's for the boys. Like that's something. I mean, Elijah can have that. Elijah can have that, right? And it's fine for him. I got some top trumps, some Bayverse top trumps, unfortunately, but they're still top trumps. I thought these would be quite good at TFCon. We could play a little bit of a little bit of game.
Bayverse did give the world Megan Fox,
50,
so
50p. So
not all bad.
Not bad.
Is she in there by any chance? Because I might be interested.
I'll have to look.
That card will disappear.
It might be laminated, that one.
It might need to be laminated.
That might be the
Oh dear.
Why?
Especially
Why
you
are
got
your
your hands on it.
Why are your top trumps cards laminated? I actually do. Oh no, that's a plain. I used to have. Okay. True story now. When I went to Barcelona when I was 17, right? And this is like 90s.
Is this a story you want to share on YouTube just before you start?
And
ask the inner voice first.
Right. What could you buy?
What would Jamie say?
We went to a sex shop, right, in Barcelona, right?
Here we go.
Right, you can't buy stuff, right? So what did we buy? We bought dirty playing cards.
Strapping guys.
We bought we bought
And
dirty
in
playing
Spain,
cards.
bestiality is legal just now, as long as the
We bought
animals are
dirty
under no
playing
distress.
cards when we
Went to the
17. So it was
aquarium.
like, what can you buy? What can you bring back that you can actually bring back without getting caught by the teacher? Dirty playing cards. And I remember, talk about laminated cards. I said, I'm pretty sure I've got a dirty pack of playing cards somewhere around here.
He knows where they are. Sam, if you're watching, he
I have no
knows.
idea. I think that,
God damn it! All these cards are blokes.
I think that, I think they're in my mum's attic still. I think they're in my mum's attic. I can find them before mum does. Okay, and I got this figure as well. Remember this guy? This is the Revenge of the Fallen.
Oh yeah.
So, what's a good price for Revenge of with instructions? What's a good price for Revenge of Fallen Prime? Which is a good price?
Did you get him £6?
Oh,
£5.
So £6, £5.
Can't read it. It's too shiny.
Can't read it. It's too big.
£3.
£3. That is a good deal.
That's a good deal. So I thought I'll grab him. So not a bad bot. If they didn't play of it, I've lost 3 quid.
Mean, sure, some kid might have wanted that, but
yeah, I mean,
keep it in that pint there. So they're my that's oh no, I also this isn't mine, it's a pickup because I have it in my possession, but it's not actually mine. I need to find out who owns this and then I can give it back to them when we go to the next con.
I found this to do with the police knocking on your door.
This was on the table. This was on the table when we went to TF Nation. I think it's Pete's, I'm not sure, but it's a bumblebee which transforms, and I wasn't sure whose it was. So I thought, rather than leave it on the table at the end of the night for someone just as Nick, I thought I'd take it, and then I will give it back to whoever it is at con. So whoever's this little bumblebee is, let me know, and it was yours as soon as I see you next.
Was that one of the things that Dan was handing out?
I don't know.
Yes, and I wondered if Greg he liked Bumblebee.
I found it on the table at the end of the night, and I thought I will just pick it up and just say whoever owns it, let me know, and I'll just make sure you get it back.
Greg, who eats pizza with a knife and fork, but then gets the fork, and then before he gets to his mouth, he picks it off the fork.
That's a good
Those
Logic.
class people.
I've got nothing MP at all. I've got so next week I've got a few things coming next. I've got 3 things coming next week. So 4 things.
Class people.
I got 4 things coming next Friday, which I'm looking forward to.
Right,
So yeah, I'll have more MP and Legends.
Do you want Magic Square Brawl?
No, because I've got no Brawl. Oh no, is it available?
It's been up for order for ages, but.
I better do that then. I need to do that. Yeah, I need to sell my own factory ones. I need to do that.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say Brawn. I was like, no, I've got New Age Brawn. No, I've got so next week I've got New Age Michael come in. FansToys Cliff Jumper. No, FansToys Cliff Jumper. I got the replacement X Transports Dr. Egg, and I've got the Kang Toys Mini Zeta. The Mini Zeta. The bull from Predacons, the mini one.
Cool.
Ramhorn, no. Headstrong, no.
Tantrum.
Tantrum.
Tantrum's the rhino. Headstrong's the buffalo.
Buffalo. I've got the buffalo. The little buffalo coming.
Whatever
Which he looks good. So I've got that coming next week as well, which is Dice. That's coming, and it's quite good. I've realised that the actual feet, the foot for Kang Toys, when you don't use it as that, it folds out to make a flight stand. So it's quite clever, which is quite good use of the actual feet for a Legends figure.
Cool. That's not
so I'll be showing that off next week.
Cool.
Spoiler alert. That is me. Thank you very much.
Not a spoiler. Right, so I got an actual Hasbro figure today. I got Tarn, someone to Smiths. And Tarn was there. I haven't transformed him yet. Literally only got him out of the box as we started the show. But my first initial thoughts is he's really nice. It's just a little bit loose though. Did you find that with your Tarns?
No, mine wasn't.
Only after Alexis dropped mine's.
Yours is really loose, isn't it?
Is it a ball? Is it a ball joint, Paul? Is it a ball joint?
No, it's not.
Is that a ball joint? Is it a ratchet?
Yeah, it's ratchets.
Is it?
It's not mega loose. It's not like. But
you can tie some ratchets.
It's really easy to do that.
Yeah, it shouldn't be doing that. No, mine was. If anything, it was the opposite. It was.
Was it first or second hand, Paul?
First hand. I got it from Smith's today.
Then take it out.
Second hand because he stole it off a child who was walking out with it. Pushed into the ground and ran off.
This is
technically that's still first hand.
It's not mega loose.
Five hand.
That's
5 fingers.
Oh, makes a common issue. I've not heard anything about this.
He poses
fine. Perfectly fine. You'll all be released.
Just a little bit loose.
Yeah, so is mine. Even after Alexis dropped it was fine.
Shut up! Did Alexis drop it by any chance?
Yeah.
I had a feeling. I don't know why. I just had a feeling.
I really liked it.
You know what? It's the one thing that survived my.
It's a great figure.
You know,
barring the QCCs, yours seems to have.
Even that's it. That's fine. Go on, Andy. Let's start this.
Right. Do you want me to start with the Transformers?
Love game.
And then do the non-Transformers things.
Yeah, cool.
Or just start naked.
First thing I picked up was Jamie. And Paul.
Oh shit!
With a very small Alexis, but
oh shit! Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, Andy. Can I just show this?
You're not sorry.
Oh,
you actually get Mega Fox in there. Sorry.
Does it taste like strawberry? Does it taste like strawberry?
Oh dear.
Continue. I'll be fine now. Just need to turn my camera for a few minutes.
You all should sort out the problem. Indeed, in many situations. So, I'll do the Transformers. So I got from Smith's for £25 in the sale. I got Blitzwing. I like the robot mode. Tank's all right, but has the random animation error cockpit thing, which I don't like particularly. And the jet mode, let's be honest, crap. But I like the robot mode a lot. I think is really nice. I also got, and only actually opened up today, your boy Skyquake.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Now, I really like him. He's not without his issues, and some of those have been quite widely reported. Actually, tabbing in, I don't know if you'll be able to see on here, but tabbing in, this back part and the nose cone are all tucked up underneath, and they kind of tab in
Sorry, Paul.
to a little tab
Paul.
underneath.
Wait a second, Paul. Hang on.
They tab into Jamie,
Nexus, what
straight
are you
into
doing?
his face.
There we go.
Anyway, they
Sorry.
tab in. You can kind of see the nose cone is supposed to flip back, and it's supposed to go back further than it can, because in the instructions it shows you it should be able to go all this way back and fit in perfectly, but the landing gear are in the way. So when you first tabbed it in, what I found with mine was it made him kind of, the top half of his body have a bit of a lean like that. Instead of being straight, it was a little bit back.
Yeah.
But anyway, I solved the problem just by jiggling it around a little bit and kind of got it into the right position. And if you're posing it slightly more dynamically anyway, rather than just stood straight up, it really doesn't make any difference. I like loads of things about it. I love the call outs to the original Skyquake who was behind me. You might just be able to see him next to me there in the background.
Yep.
I like the cannon. I know he's supposed to hold it two-handed, but I wanted him to have his sword in his hand as well because he comes with the sword. Sword. I just think it works really well, and it feels. Somebody said it felt really light. I have to admit, it doesn't have a lot of weight, but it still feels really sturdy. At least mine does.
Can we get a comparison of the two bots next to each other, your original and the new one? Can you get that one together?
Should be able to. Really don't want to drop my original because it's half made of gold plastic. You can see the major size difference, but then again, this was always massive.
Major size
but you
difference.
can see this is an homage back to G1, and when you have it in jet mode, there's all the parts which you can then see on the back there, which are an homage to the back on there. Do you see the grates? Even the little see-through plastic bit and all that. Yeah. Anyway, let's not dwell too long on that because I will drop it and break it. Anyway, really good, really good. Right, now, because I've had a really bizarre week, and I think in total I worked out I've had about 14 pickups, so I'm going to literally whiz through them. So save your questions till the end, or better still, don't ask any. Went to a car boat sale on Sunday, and randomly saw this and picked this up for a couple of quid, so it's one of those Predator figures it's ages ago. Never bothered getting one. I thought, you know what? I'll get it just to see what it's like. So he's going to go with my... I'm going to stick him with my Masters of the Universe figures. And what was the name of the lizard creature from the Masters of the Universe live-action film from the 80s? Anyway, he's going to be him, basically. Then, many of you will know that Game had a sale, and a few other places did, on their Masters of the Universe figures and everything else Masters of the Universe. And between me and Claire, we went a little bit probably overboard. So I got Ram Man, the Deluxe Origins one. Like I say, I'm going to whiz through these. I got Battle Armor Skeletor. I got Battle Armor He-Man with his bizarre face. I don't know if you can see his face, but when you actually see it, it's disturbing. But anyway, got that. What else did I got? Oh, I got another Skelegod. Yes, I already have Skelegod, but I really like the figure, and I'm keeping this one in its box. So yeah, it was only £5, so why wouldn't you? What else did I got? Managed to find one of these lovely Beastman figures. Yeah, really pleased to get that. I know I saw Pete at TEF Nation Manchester and really like that. So glad to get on all of these. I think the most I paid for any of these things is £13, and most of them were £5 for the Barbarian He-Man. And that's fairly new, at least over here. I only bought Spycore because I just felt sorry for him leaving it behind, but I got a Spycore anyway. Seriously, it just could go on. The wife bought me this off Amazon. I think she paid 13 quid for it because I wanted the Orko. not really bothered about the Barbarian He-Man. No, not Barbarian, Savage He-Man, but the Orko. I remember again seeing Pete's, and I wanted one of them. And then a couple of vehicles. Got the Wind Raider. That was £5. And got a Land Shark. That was £5. And then finally, this was something Claire ordered for me because I bought all that stuff, and she went and sorted this out for me. So she bought me Castle Grayskull.
Oh, nice.
So now the wonderful thing about all this is even Claire seemed quite excited by all.
Does it come out of the sorceress? Sorry, does Castle Grayskull?
Does. Oh, sorry. Yes. Hang on. Oh, go on, Ben. It comes with a special edition sorceress that you can't get.
Can we see the back of the box? Can we see the back of the box?
There you go. All the lads.
Who's that in the top right corner? Top right corner? What's that in the top right corner? Picture?
Top right, as you're looking, is Scareglow.
No, above the writing, top right. There's a picture, isn't there?
It's just the inside.
Oh, is that inside? Oh, can we see the inside? Hold it close to the camera.
Oh, go on, Ben. You understand this is massive and extremely awkward to hold. You know.
Start your sex tape.
Have a look at. You've been watching. Anyway, so that was all of it. I think.
Sure, that was all of it. That was all of it.
I don't know. It's been a bit of a mad week. And there is actually one more thing that I bought. So it should be 15, but it hasn't arrived yet. It's apparently arriving tomorrow. And it has been a bizarrely mad week. And the thing arriving tomorrow is a Transformers thing. But yeah, that was literally everything came up on sale, coincided with like payday or whatever, pay week, whatever. And
how much was Grayskull? Out of interest in the sale?
60, but that wasn't from game. That was from a
Not
website.
bad.
Claire was looking for trying to find a deal on it because somebody had told us that it was 50 quid from game, but when I went in there, it was 70.
Wow. Okay.
Which is still less than it was originally, but you know. So yeah, that's it. As I say, I'm not going to spend ages on them simply because I know we've got to go. I have started a little.
Where are you gonna display all this stuff then?
I have no frigging clue because as you may have noticed, I've still not got. I've still not got all my display shelves back in, and part of the reason was because I had to store all this stuff in this corner of the room, and I've said to Claire, I have literally no idea where this is going to go. I need another room. So
Sam was like that. We bought I got Ethan probably that tall, probably like foot and a half tall dinosaur play set. It's a wooden one, which is pretty good quality. It goes like the ones that sort of slide like that. And slot it into places. And each corner then is like it's got volcano, Amazon, desert, and something else. And it's like and it sounds like where are we gonna put it? It's like well, it's not like, it's like he's straight in there. And Elijah, our youngest, he's 15 months old. Because it's wooden, he can play it as well. So they're in there both like back to back, but playing like in different sections. It's so cute.
That sounds pretty cool.
For again for like 15. I think it was that 10 quid for the box for that.
The eternal argument and battle is space, and you lads are all obviously lucky enough to have a room, where you can have to display everything. Whereas all my stuff tends to be displayed in my bedroom, although it has crept into the dining room. It's on top of like anywhere where there's a space. I'm taking it. We'll have to see. I know Jamie's going to pull a face. I'm considering cutting down a massive part of my Transformers collection because I know new versions of them are coming out. But then, not the G1, obviously. I'm not getting rid of the originals or anything like that. But some of the older generation stuff, just because I know there's going to be brand new versions coming out, and I have to make some space.
You have a castle in your lounge now.
I do. I'm going to go live in it as well because that's all I'm going to have. But yeah. Mad week of pickups to the point where, as you've noticed, most of them are all still sealed and everything because I just fucking hell. I'm not used to all these things. It's not just like Christmas, as I think Pete commented to me. It's like the whole freaking year arrived in 1 week. So that was a very fun week. Now I've got to figure out what the hell to do with it all.
Yeah. Paul, did you buy your thing?
Cool. Great.
Did you get it?
That's amazing.
Did you get your thing, Paul?
Yeah, all
your Star Trek. You got it?
All done.
Success.
Right. Should we be Rohan? Rohan!
Who is this super YouTuber? Is it Paul, the Joy Toy collector? Andy, the Newcastle United fan? Jamie, the GoBot hater? Alexis, the salesman? Rohan, the man with the plan and the Wall of Fame? Might just be Rohan's Corner, Super Transformers guy. Rohan's Corner, poking Hasbro in the eye. Oh, he's so fly, a groovy guy with a beard that just won't stop. When the bots get rough, he's super tough as third party cleans up. Rohan's Corner, Super Transformers guy. Rohan's Corner, poking Hasbro in the eye. Hello everyone and welcome back to Rohan's Corner. And this week I have decided I want to talk about the reveals. I know that the guys have already shown them on the show and will no doubt be discussing them, but there are some tasty bits to discuss. It's probably the first time I've been excited about Transformers reveals from the guys at Hasbro on their live Transformers stream for some time. And that's because obviously a lot of the time we're starting to see a lot of these reveals getting usurped by third-party YouTube reviewers showcasing a character or a new toy before it's actually been revealed by Hasbro. That's one thing. Then there's obviously the official marketing channel of Hasbro revealing some of the characters a couple of days before the launch, probably to avoid the same problem as we just discussed. And then on the flip side, there are those characters which we just don't actually care about too much, which get revealed, and I guess those come up and we're like, hey, that's there. But I'm sure someone cares about them. But this time around, we had a plethora, an absolute deluge of new bots and figures that we weren't particularly expecting. Okay, some of them we were expecting. We had the names revealed on TFW and other sources many moons ago, but to actually see them in person has struck up quite a lot of feedback on the community, especially with the likes of the Nemesis, who I think looks absolutely fantastic. I really enjoy both the space shuttle look and also the robot load look, although I do still wish that Hasbro would pluck up the courage to build a base mode figure like the Nemesis, which did not transform into a robot form. And actually, kudos to Jazz Hardy. He sent me an idea for Rohan's Corner for a show to come later, which will all be about Transformers that do not have a robot mode, i.e. vehicles that transform into an animal form that transforms into some weird combined form, whatever is the case, any Transformer that does not have a robot mode. And I think this is interesting. There aren't hundreds of them, but there are a few, and I think that it would be good for Hasbro to start thinking about building some play sets that are transformable. Heaven forbid, let me say, like the GoBots did with the Guardian Shuttle and the Renegade Thruster, which were able to transform into playsets, and you could actually utilize your Transformers or GoBots within those playsets. And that was cool. And where we're living today in this world where we have 700 versions of Optimus Prime to choose from, 25 versions of Jazz to choose from, 17 versions of Beachcomber to choose from. Not that I'm shitting on the new Beachcomber, because he looks good, and heck, he comes with a parrot. That is excellent. What I would say is that, are you guys not bored of seeing the same Generation 1 characters being churned through again and again and again for the past 40 years? Yes, I get that, those bots who can be improved and have been improved and should have been improved, the likes of Ultra Magnus, Ironhide and Ratchet, those figures who never got a good figure in the first place. And also there is a market for updated Generation 1 figures for those people who weren't fans in the first place and have only joined the fandom at a later date because either they were born later or have got into Transformers later. That's absolutely fine, don't get me wrong. But for those of us who've been collecting for 40 years, there are times when I want to see G1 and there are times when I want to see something new. And it's cool to see some of the new characters, the likes of Axel Grease, who's had some polarizing feedback on the community. I think there's quite a lot of love for her from certain aspects of the community who like the color scheme. They like the fact that there's a new female junkie on. They like the fact that, it's a slight retool on Scraphook, which is cool. There are other use cases for this mold, as I've pointed out. I think there's accelerated turbo fire in there somewhere. I think there's a massive G2 influence in the color scheme and the head as well. For me, I don't personally think it looks like a Junkion, but I'm willing to forgive that and just call it another bot, Whether or not she ends up being as rare as Kapow making out, we shall have to wait and see. But that is the case that they're putting that out there for now. And at the same time, we're seeing things like Legacy Blitzwing getting a refresh. And Hasbro started to do this recently, the last couple of years. They're doing the leaders over and over again, and it's making me wonder why? Because they sold so well in the first place. I mean, Blitzwing has now been discounted down to 25 quid, I think it is, at Smith's. And he's still hanging around. Seriously, Hasbro, you need to have a think about this, because reissuing a figure which has just been out for the last year to 2 years and has not shifted particularly well doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And we've seen this before with the likes of Earthrise Wheeljack and RC, where they have then stunk up the aisles for many, many eons. And I've got a sneaky suspicion that's what's going to happen with Blitzwing, I'm afraid. Because the fan reaction was great for the rework mode, but the other two modes not so good, and he just does not warrant the £55 leader class price point, in my humble opinion, especially as a reissue. So there we go. But on the whole, yes, really excited about the reveals, really happy to see lots of new things coming out. That's great. And are we really living in the golden age? I think we've said this many times, and I've said it myself, that we really are living in the golden age of Transformers right now, with Hasbro bringing out all these characters that we never thought we would see, all these updated models of figures that we mentioned before, which had been done badly in the past, and we never thought we would see a good version of them. But now with the likes of the Hero Born 2-pack, those exclusive characters that were only in a couple of episodes, Orion Pack's in 2, and Alpha Trion was in several, to be fair. But now with the Dion and Ariel pack, we're going to see those two coming out. They were only in 1 episode. There is a scope for huge numbers of other characters, like DevCon, who only got 1 episode, to start getting the limelight, and human characters, which I've been banging on about for some time. Hasbro make action figures which are based on the likes of G.I. Joe. Why can they not turn some of these into human characters for the Transformers series? I don't know, but they should do it. There are 30, 40 base coat characters that could be created in that. And I, for one, would be going out there to collect them as part of my new playsets. Hint, hint, to pick up. Anywho, there are so many more. I'd like to know who you would like to see. Which are the random, rare figures from which lines that never got a toy, never got a good toy, that you'd like to see Hasbro do next? Let us know here on the show. And finally, to wrap up for this week, we have the next installment of Dinobot War for you. So, the winner of last week's contest was page 36, and we move on as follows. Sludge carries you through the marshes. His large feet are well suited to the ground, and it does not take long to reach the scene of the disturbance. As the mists roll back, you see 2 robot warriors locked in combat. The larger is a mechanical Tyrannosaurus. He seems more powerful than the sleek cat-like, but the latter moves with such ferocity and grace that the Tyrannosaur's snapping jaws cannot strike home. "This is Grimlock, our leader," murmurs Sludge, referring to the Tyrannosaurus. "He should be able to beat Ravage." But Sludge has spoken too soon. Grimlock, stepping back to avoid Ravage's attack, fails to notice a mud pool just behind him. He plunges into the marsh. As he struggles to wade free, Ravage takes aim with his deadly proton missiles. Sludge hesitates. He knows he must act to save Grimlock, but he does not know what to do. If you think that Sludge should charge Ravage, turn to page 43. If you think he should stamp the ground with his massive foot, turn to page 44. I have a funny feeling I know which one's going to win this week. So there we have it, folks. Another episode of Rohans Corner all wrapped up. I hope you enjoyed. Back to the studio.
Transformers
Rohans in disguise.
Hey, it's got to be 40. Oh my god. Having a few technical difficulties here. Seems to be a rabbit.
Hey, K1.
I'm here.
Double punch. Take this, people who break into my house.
Jamie, is that your wank mode?
No, it's double punch.
I think it is.
Let's just stop rabbiting on.
What's next?
Next is the foreplay. Foreplay.
It's like our own version.
Sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
Foreplay tonight is Transformers Who Came Back from the Dead. So our top 5. There's quite a few. Once I think about this, actually they came back from the dead. That one did. That one did too. He came back a couple of times. Who would like to go first?
I just want to say, where's Donnie Darko gone? I thought we had a guest appearance from Donnie Darko for a second, but he's fucked off again.
No idea what he's talking about.
No idea.
Alexis, this is your idea. This foreplay. Why don't you lead us off with one
Yeah.
choice? One.
Yeah, I was looking at these cards and I thought I'd just talk about these for a second. Like I was, because okay, right. Who wants to know Megan Fox? So Megan Fox, it judges you on height, firepower, speed, bravery, and intelligence.
Megan Fox judges you on firepower. What type of firepower is
I
she?
think Megan Fox just judges you, mate.
So her firepower is 4.
It's cold,
apparently.
Megan. It's cold. It's cold.
She's got more. Okay, she's got double the firepower that Sam's
this is
got.
gonna take all night, honestly.
Of course, she has double the firepower.
Almost 2 hours into the show.
But I was like, it said speed 3, and I was like, it said Starscream speed 3, and I realised it actually does do like alt mode and robot mode, but only on certain bots. So I thought, oh well, that's pretty shit because obviously Starscream would be the
That's your
fastest.
robot that came back from the
Thank you,
dead.
Nick.
Great.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Great choice, Alexis.
Thanks.
Jamie, what's your choice?
My choice is, I think the choice that you would pick, Paul, is Power Master Optimus Prime.
Nice.
And I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome because he came back he was stored in the program disc, wasn't he? Like a disc which used to have for like the IBM computers or the Amiga.
Yeah, the old floppy disk.
Yes, and he was stored in there. All his personality, all in that floppy disk. And he was given life again, a Power Master mode. So he had a normal Optimus Prime mode, then he had a super combined Power Master mode, and he was just awesome. He looked awesome. He could go toe to toe with Galvatron, which we saw in Time War. So that was exciting to see how he would. It was like an evolutionary step up. He had evolved, and that was just brilliant. And the toy was awesome. Even Mei Lin had the toy. And she actually had it quite recently, and then she threw it in the bin for some reason. They never even told me, and I was like, yes. So it's Power Master Optimus Prime, and he's just an epic character. And he was always coming back from the dead. This guy, in the comics or even in the cartoon, but in the comics he was always seems to be dying, or there'd be some replica version of him getting blown up and dying in his place, and he was always just sort of like popping back. So that's my choice, Optimus Prime, who became Power Master Optimus Prime.
What a choice. Did anyone not have Optimus Prime? Power Master Prime is their first choice.
Only because not that it wasn't my first choice, but I just knew somebody would do for Optimus Prime, so no problem.
Obvious one, right?
Yeah.
Right, go on then, Andy.
Go on, Andy. You go, Andy.
Well, I had it down to 2, and simply because I've got the box next to it, I'm going to go with Skyquake. Because for those who have watched Transformers Prime, you know that he dies, killed by the Autobots, and then he comes back thanks to Starscream and Dark Onajon. I mean, all right, he comes back as a zombie, but still, he comes back, he gets up and starts walking around. So that's a comeback. Also, the box was next to me, and I forgot to pick up a bot for this. So Skyquake is the logical choice. Everybody knows this.
I thought you'd go for Galvatron.
I didn't know that.
No, see, Galvatron I wasn't going to do, because Megatron didn't die, did he?
Oh,
Megatron
well,
is
you
still
can...
alive, so he
Did
hasn't
he
died.
die? Did he die?
That
Did he
doesn't count.
die? This is...
No, he didn't die.
Because he was
What?
still talking.
It's clear.
I thought he'd make
He goes, just in case you don't watch the movie, because you might not watch the movie, but he says, "I still function" is a big fucking clue.
Oh my god! Remember that bit
okay.
on Monty Python, Search for the Holy Grail, where there's the guy trying to get rid of his dead father-in-law.
He's got the Black Knight. Yeah. Oh, that one. That's it. Yeah. But surely when Megatron does turn to Galvatron, he gets shut down.
No, now we're making stuff up.
Okay.
I think we should have a song there.
I think Megatron.
Alexis is wrong.
You think Megatron and Galvatron, and now he's...
Apparently, Galvatron was the first Cybertronian form to appear on the card.
No, Devcon. That was Devcon. Devcon.
He died as well.
Okay, so and Megatron did die in Transformers Bayverse and came back in Dark of the Moon. So Megatron did die.
We don't
watch those movies. Is that your choice?
But did he really die because he was still alive in his head thing and they came back in Galvatron? Yeah, you can have that one. That's fine.
There we go.
Right, next is
Have your Bayverse. No one else wants it.
Oh, I thought that was his choice. I thought that was his
choice.
No.
Are you picking other bots again?
I'm correct. I'm picking one bot. I'm just correcting the people that are wrong. Anyway,
but no one was wrong.
So you're talking to yourself.
You.
No, mate, no.
You just decided to talk about something else. You knew you might be right on.
and didn't Galvatron go? Didn't Galvatron go to the dead universe? Or didn't Galvatron die and then come back as a zombie?
Oh my god!
Right, I'll do my choice.
No, he wasn't a zombie.
He's talking. So I went for my choice. I went for Starscream, who came back in the Ghost of Starscream, and
he does,
he just dies quite a lot, doesn't he? I think
he's an eternal spark,
doesn't
he? That's what they retconned it.
Power of the Primes, the Machinima thing. He came back as an absolute Titan. Is it a Titan?
He was Triptychon. He over Triptychon, didn't he?
So I think he's the ultimate person who came back.
And he's the Jesus of Transformers.
He came back, didn't he? He's a pretender.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Right, discussion time. So,
I'm not mine yet.
What?
I
just need Megatron.
No, that was just correcting you. My Transformer is the one that gave the biggest impact to me.
Impactor
was
the other
obviously
one.
Not a big enough impact.
That was the other one I was going to go for.
Impactor, in City of Rust.
City of Fear.
City of Fear when he came back in City of Fear.
Yeah,
thank you.
Was he alive or just?
We now return to the Transformers.
Pet.
Was he alive in the City of Fear?
It's a zombie, but he does kind of come back at the end, doesn't he? Just before the end, he
was accessing his memory banks, wasn't he?
Yeah, so I'm going to let him have that one. If only because I chose Skyquake. Sure. Look, at least we know something that actually died. For God's sake, Jamie, take the wins where you can.
No.
Right,
I'm surprised
you
you
dive off, but I'm going to let you three carry us out. So the discussion tonight is
you're leaving the narcissist in chance.
You know, I have to say, of all the chats,
please tell me, Jamie,
dived out
please tell me,
of all the discussions, the chat about how we recycle our cardboard boxes is the worst chat.
Ian, do you want to jump on for a fourth member?
So, going to regret this, but we're going to talk about recycling.
Where are you go have to do some recycling?
I'm not. But you're going to chat about it now, and you're going to chat about the Hasbro reveals as well. So Hasbro reveals, and the chat will be the discussion now. But I need to stop out. So see you later. I love you. Bye.
I feel like he's dodged a bullet here.
So basically, Hasbro made a sort of like a statement, and they've been like emailing people to talk about. They're going back to trying to bring back sealed boxes with clear plastic, which you can, see through transparent plastic. That's the hope, and also bring back the clamshells which hold the Transformer toys in place. They're going to do it in some lines and hopefully bring them back for G.I. Joe, Transformers. That's the plan, and the idea is they're using that word biodegradable plastics, or well, actually, they don't say biodegradable. That's the misconception. They're saying bioplastics, which gives this idea that they're biodegradable. They're not. What they can be is they can be recycled and used again. But that's if you decide to put them in a proper recycling bin. And that's if your council actually has, the network, the actual ability and infrastructure in place to get those plastics from those certain types of bins and actually be able to recycle them, unless it means returning them back to Hasbro. So it's a bit of a cop-out. It's trying to say, well, we're using bioplastics or biopets, which aren't really, going to do any good really for the environment, because in the short term, they're still going to harm animals, which a lot of people are concerned about when it comes to plastics, especially if we get into the ocean and harm them. They're not going to break down because they're not actually biodegradable. Depending on the source with biopets, they can be made from organic farms and stuff like that. But still, that's going to take up more farmland. It's going to take up pesticides, you name it. So it's going to cause a lot more harm to the environment. And if we get them from another source, which is fossil fuels, it's not really done anything. So really, it's only good if you manage to collect these bits of plastic and, manage to give it back to Hasbro to recycle themselves, because I very much doubt there's actually infrastructure in place for them. And I think, it's just a cop-out, and it's not going to do any good for the environment. It might sound nice. They've used the word bio in there. But apart from that, it's just it's to make people happy for short-term goals, which is just going to harm the environment. And I just don't think it's a good idea at all. I think they should go away and use other plastics which are biodegradable. And I think they should come in with instructions, on how to recycle these things properly. Yeah, I think they should do it. I think if they want to help, I think the best way to do that is educating people. Yeah. Not lecturing them, but educating them. And I think sometimes we, as a society, we've got very used to this idea of not trying to educate people anymore. We try to tell them what to do rather than explain to them why you want to do it. That's my input about that.
I agree.
I thought the chat was about the reveals. It's just
it's chat. Partly that and partly this. So the other thing is, of course, that with the open cardboard boxes they've been doing, as I experienced this week in the Smiths, I found an RC figure for £10, the Studio Series 86 one, and the head had been nicked off it. Wasn't like rattling around in the box. Somebody just nicked the head off it because they could. And I've seen a lot on the more American-leaning Facebook groups and stuff like that, where people have pointed out things like that happening. So maybe that's part of it as well. Maybe they've had a lot of complaints about it, but I don't know. I thought this was cheaper for them to go to the cardboard as well as being better for the environment. But it's starting to feel like it's not, and they've just kind of gone with, let's go back to whatever.
It's almost like they listen to someone who's a narcissist. No, actually, I'm not going to use that word. It's just I like using a big word because it makes me feel intelligent. It's all false and bravado. It's bullshit.
Use the word.
The point is, yeah, I just don't understand where they're coming from, because I think they're making great strides. And okay, it's not brilliant. Collectors like to look in their boxes and that, but those people, I mean, seriously, it's about moving forward. And what you've got to realise is humans, we're fucking selfish. We don't do anything really for the better or the greater good. We like to talk about it. I'm sure these people who want those clamshells back in transparent, plastic, I'm sure they've got wonderful hashtags ready to unleash on Twitter. But real change would have been coming up with better ideas and campaigning for maybe Hasbro to actually use the biodegradable plastics as an option. Instead of the plastics which are using, like plastic pets, which are mentioned on there, the letters, which are the non-biodegradable ones. But even the biodegradable ones have, still a lot of harmful things. And I think, moving forward, we've got to take that onus back, and we've got to realise, we want to have a planet left for our children so they can enjoy collecting Transformers.
Or look after our collections once we're gone, so that they actually remain pristine condition. Yes. Protect them, children. Protect them. I think all your points are very valid, Jamie. I can't really think of any argument why you do this, but it must be financial. That's the only thing I can think.
Yeah, yeah. It's just window dressing. That's what it seems like to me. Smoking mirror stories from Hasbro.
Plastic window dressing.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about the reveals then?
Yep.
What? I mean, Alexis, you're a massive mainline fan, I know.
Sorry, I was going through a train of thought in my head. Again, Jamie, you guys are more educated than me in this sort of space, but it'd be lovely to have something which is almost like a polystyrene-esque casing that you could then go and plant in your garden and actually acted as food for the soil, like in like your greenhouse or where you plant your vegetables. You put it in in your flower bed as actually acts like a.
I mean, that's the ones they're not using though, and you have got some biodegradable plastics, but to be honest, they're not all brilliant.
Sorry,
still
but
animals.
That's what I mean. Is biodegradable actually healthy for your vegetables? This is what I'm trying to say. Or is there almost like you're always making it out of old food, aren't you? Because that's what then transpires into old something.
Basically it's going to be hydrocarbons which are used from distillation from organic food, so like sugar processing, which you'll use then to make your plastics. That's what they'll be coming from.
I knew you knew. Again, much more than I know. But again, that's what I guess the world is trying to move entirely towards something which, again, you buy something. You can always plant it.
Hasbro are going backwards. They're using the sort of they're just doing a sales technique. They use bioplastic, and suddenly everyone starts thinking biodegradable.
Do you think it's contracts they've got in place with certain? And again, they have to.
No, I think they're trying to appease people, and they've just come out with this jargon, and this is the idea they're going down. I think, as Andy said, it must be cost, and like you said, maybe they're starting to arrange contracts, but. Because a lot of these things, which are going to be coming from, would be waste products from from normal fossil fuels, and be waste products from distillation and sugar processes and stuff like that. So they'll be cheap and easy to use and largely available.
So someone made a point about Takara. They always have a box around the sort of, if you look at the exclusive, I think we displayed the exclusive. They were always on.
I think Dan's right. I think we should train ourselves like closed box. I mean, do you know the worst thing about those egg clams and stuff like that, especially when it's just a packet with a clam, is opening them and trying to maintain it and get your figure out. I prefer just a box where you can open and take the figure out, and then keep that box if you want. Usually with wonderful artwork on it, like the third party did.
Aiden's
Games is treading
there. Transformers easy to flat pack. Because some of the boxes aren't very easy to flat pack because of the shapes and the fact they've made them more complicated.
Yeah.
It's very simple though.
If you want to keep the boxes for the art and everything, fine. But you're gonna have to, look, I'm talking about myself now. Probably I'm gonna have to start flat packing things because I have on my landing currently, because of this move, I have must be about 50 Transformers boxes that I had to shift out of this room. From either the top of the display shelves or just that I had scattered around.
Where are you moving to?
No, I'm not moving. I had to move this stuff out when we had our new boiler put in. All of the things they needed to get to, literally, they went round the house, and the only room they needed to shift stuff out of the way was my room where my display shelves were, and they went in and just said straight away, "Yeah, you're gonna have to move them, mate. We need to be under the floorboards to get to some pipes." It was like, most of it is in Lucas's room at the moment.
The good thing I can say about all the MP figures that and my Legend figures as well that I buy.
Because he always says it's one-use plastics back to the issue. As long as you recycle or you try to, your plastics doesn't get into the environment. That's just not true.
We will come to
that. That's
just
not true at all. Because the trouble is, people litter.
And the trouble is,
we don't even have infrastructure in virtually the whole planet, isn't geared up for recycling. We're just awful at it. We put these into little coloured boxes, and usually they just go to the same fucking landfill and just dumped.
So I will just going to say that with my MP boxes and my Legend box, what I do with them when I dispose them is I put the figures back in the box, put them all on eBay, and sell it to someone else, and I find that solves the whole issue. Just putting that out there.
Is that solves the issue by pushing the problem onto someone else?
I never, and then therefore this box is never disposed of because it's like Schrodinger's box, right? It always is, it's either in or out, right?
I think we're getting into another debate here, but like if other people, I look at that and I love the artwork, right? So I don't want to throw that away. I want to keep it. But other people would just go, "Yep, it's a box, MGO style, chuck it." Where do we draw the line on this? Like, how many other people are having this problem?
And are you actually able to recycle that cardboard? Because I wonder, because in some card you can't actually.
We've
I
got
mean,
other
you had that
recycling.
case of McDonald's. They used straws, wanting paper straws, and then it turned out none of them could be recycled. You know, they're made from paper.
On the,
Oh.
hang on.
Get old
Yeah,
Mackie
but
days.
can it be because sometimes it has
Well,
recycling
it's got
on it.
got the symbols there. Can you see them?
And
it's not
that's
clear
what I
on
mean.
both.
Sometimes they just can't. And they just
Anyway, it says it has the recycling symbols and says paper, but it also above it says USA and Canada. So are there definitions of what's recyclable different to us in the
well, they
different
might have
countries?
it in place. You know,
You see, incinerators are all the rage around Leeds, where obviously I used to live. They just built a nice big new one, not that
You know
far
what
away.
solved
from
the
where we
whole issue, right? If they sent the items right in a packing crate massively to local stores, and they took them out and they QC checked them at the store, and you went up and you picked your number and you went and got your bot and just took your bot home on its own with the instructions, and then there's no
box.
packaging at all, no box at all, right? And if Hasbro spent all that money on the logistics of it, and then instead of the packaging, it would fucking solve the whole issue.
Interesting idea.
I mean, I liked the packaging of Motormaster in the sense that everything was held in place by the shape of the cardboard within the box. I thought that was quite good, and you know, the guns and accessories were kept within the compartment of the trailer.
Well, we're not going to solve this, are we, tonight? But shall we look at some reveals before we finish off, or talk about them? I should say again.
Let's do it. You guys do that. I'm gonna go get another glass of vino.
Have you got the ability to share this then, Jamie? Or is Alexis just?
Okay. You shared. Oh, what do you want to share?
I'm sharing. The sharingness is happening. We are sharing.
There we
sharing.
go.
We are learning. And we are growing as people.
Back in a minute. You enjoy.
Right. So this probably does appeal more to me and you, Jamie. What were you excited for everything, or were there certain ones that stood out?
I'm totally excited for Nemesis, and I know, joking aside with like being a female Titan and stuff like that, I don't care. I think the fact we're getting a Nemesis Titan is good, and it's just what I'm excited about is the fact they said the guns rotate. There seems to be compartments coming out. There's little things there, little wee extras like the little planes, you know, being able to fit onto the landing gear, or the ramps that come out. I mean, all that stuff is what made toys brilliant. And I think in the last couple of Titans, especially the Arc, we kind of lost that magic. I know we had that component inside, but it was pish. It really was pish. And I remember when we read Optimus Prime, I lost that, and Gav had to come to my rescue, and he gave me Red Optimus Prime, you know. So I think this is a good step forward.
We need a play set. That's what they used to be. They used to be a play set.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're a kid or an adult collector, that you can actually interact with properly other than just transforming them. And that seems to have got lost a little bit sometimes. Now it's just about, let's make a giant robot that transforms into one or two things, depending. I mean, we've had some great Titans, don't get me wrong, but how many of them have felt like a playset like the original Metroplex did, or even the original Scorponok? That's the one I had as a kid first. That's the first City bot I remember getting. And that felt like a playset. I could use that with other toys in other, like, you know, games and stuff like that. But I'm glad they're doing it. I was kind of worried. I actually think it looks okay. I think they'll iron out some of the kinks before the actual release date. And obviously, we have to remember this is an early prototype, so we're not seeing the finished thing. And I saw some people immediately seeing the pictures and saying like, "Oh, the color scheme's terrible." Well, it's literally just an early prototype that it doesn't have the colors yet. But the colors are just going to be mostly purple anyway, aren't they? So
yeah.
I kind of like it with this color scheme. I'm not gonna lie. I think it makes it more interesting because it breaks it up a bit. But you know, that's just me. So I think the Nemesis is one a lot of people are excited about. Then you had the Evolution figures. The Armada Prime, they didn't actually give us lots of photos of because it's not, strictly speaking, available yet to pre-order and everything. They were concentrating on the ones that were going up for pre-order. I really like the smaller robot. I mean, I think it's a brilliant update to the original Armada Prime toy. But then, I know you're not as familiar with those figures, but do you not think this looks quite good? Exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly
I think
what
it's got quite a character. Because do you know what I'm not interested in, and I know it's short order, but I'm not interested in the computer game versions of the Transformers.
No, I'm not either.
It's called. You know, they
I love the
don't
games.
interest me.
I just
Yeah.
don't think the toys look very good.
But this gets me excited. This is what makes me happy to get up in the morning and realise I'm a Transformer fan. I'm not a GoBot fan. I'm not into something that's rubbish. You know, I'm into something that's got a bit of, class to it. I don't know. This is it.
Just imagine if next time it's all Rock Lords. All of them.
You know, I will say, I think when GoBots went pish and went Rock Lords, it went good. I think that's a lesson to be learned. You know?
Just on your point, Andy, you made about are people excited about Nemesis? I'm buying Nemesis. I think it's made people excited about the Ark. I've seen a lot of people posting about where can I get an Ark from.
Yeah,
and again, Ark was cheap, and now it's going back up again. And now it's becoming
the demand will go
again,
up.
people, because you want it's almost like the Dinobots when everyone's like, oh, that's a bit pish, and then when what was it when Sludge came out?
I don't need the Ark. I'm lucky in that sense. I don't feel like I need to have the Ark to have the Nemesis. I think that figure looks good enough on its own.
When I look at the Ark to me is two things. It's the Ark, obviously, and then it's the last Autobot. And that's what I like about it. To me, the Ark is like an idea. I don't think the Ark is a good Titan, though. I think they could improve the articulation in the hands. I think they could add lots of gimmicks in there, and they just went wrong. You know, and
some of the bits on it just felt really cheap to me. And like I said, it's not a bad figure as a standalone figure on its own. It's fine.
I mean,
but
Alexis took some excellent photos of the Ark, didn't they? I think about the third-party art.
There'll be more now. Get some more now. Of those other minifigures.
I personally do like the Armada Megatron, and it has been pre-ordered already. I'm slightly concerned about the way prices keep creeping up, and is going to make me have to be more selective, I think, going forward. But I can't knock it.
Is it actually available now for? Oh, sorry. Is the price available now for?
50, I think it was 56 for the leader class now, and this is leader class. I'm sure it is.
And then the Ark's how much though?
The Ark or the Nemesis? Nemesis isn't available yet, but I'm expecting it to be in the same range as the Cybertron Metroplex, about 200. Cybertron Metroplex was the last leader we had, and that was around the 200 mark. You could get it cheaper. You could get it like for 170, 180 from certain places. But it really depends.
I'll be honest with you. I don't mind the prices so much in the sense I'll hope that the prices goes to the workers. I like the idea of them getting paid more. Sadly, I don't think that's really going to be.
I don't think that's where the money trickles down to. But
especially the way they sort of seem to rent out the factories, and the factories already got their money, etc., and get their money in other ways by selling the products that they make. Actually, before Hasbro even sells them. But yeah,
Jamie, you've got Dirge, haven't you? You've got the 2-pack.
Yes, but I have ordered this again.
I would, because I just think you've got to. Is it exactly the same bot? Because I mean, I haven't got it, but I don't remember the wings quite looking the same. Maybe that's just me. If you've got it there with you,
up there. You know, I've got Dodge just up there, and it'll be interesting to. I don't think there should be much of a difference, but I would expect the paint.
Somebody said the face sculpt was
plastic could be different.
Is the face sculpt? It's the shouty face rather than the.
Can't see it. I don't know if it's like.
We'll find out next
darker.
week, people.
My
if anybody's
got
there's nearby, you can put it in the chat.
You know, my guy's got a bit more of a tan, but I don't know if that's the light just shining right off his face.
Now I'm gonna. How do we pronounce? It's not Guzzy. Is it? Guzzy.
Goosey.
I really want to say your name. Goosey. Yeah. He's put in the chat, like a lot of people, he paid 120 for the cone headset to get it originally, which is madness when you think about it. But people were, because we thought that's the only way you were going to get it. And, you know, good old Hasbro.
Well, I just hope they would bring First out, because I think that was the biggest one which people were losing out on.
If you're doing Dirge, surely you've got to do the other two as well. Surely. I mean...
And they might need to redo Cosmos as well, because that was the other one which people...
I know, it's amazing how many people, particularly in like America, struggle to get hold of it. I know that a 6 hours...
that's this. The challenge with Cosmos... You know the challenge with Cosmos in America? That was always because every time Cosmos... You know, they try to deploy Cosmos in stores. The FBI... took him in for question because they thought he was from Area 51. So
not the way you started chuckling at your own joke before you said it.
So some I've got through. But again, you know, he is a UFO.
Who doesn't want a toy which will anal probe you? That's what I
Dildo.
Every toy can do.
Dildo alert! Dildo alert!
Pulled me away.
Anyway, this version of it's not. Is it Nemesis Prime? Anyway, whatever we're calling him. I like the head sculpt. I think the head sculpt's quite fierce. But
have you got a picture in his cat mode? Because the cat looks into you.
Do you know what?
Your soul is dead.
Don't, because the only other pictures that I'd seen of the cat mode
Screw
were
you, Mick. I used to like you, Mick.
Really pixelated, so I didn't bother downloading them because they just looked a bit crappy when downloaded to me. But the cat mode looks better than the original. Like what was the other one called? Leo Prime. It looks better than that. And haven't they done the eyes a bit better this time, so it doesn't look quite like he's had a dropped on his head or something like that?
Do you know, I think this thing with this junkie on, they missed a trick. I think what they could have did was that colour change plastic. Do you know the plastic which you used to get in some of the toy cars when you heat it up?
Is that when you put it into the hot water and it changes colour?
Yeah. And of course, what they should have done
is... That'd be a great idea for disguising it.
Yeah, or they could have done it reverse.
No, I didn't, Mick. No one likes GoBots.
But if they heat it up, it would go into its junkie on colours. And that would have been kind of cool to show, but it wasn't, because it doesn't look like a Junkion at all.
I think it's interesting that Decepticon Junkions is interesting, because this is based on Scraphook, isn't it? And they've just obviously retooled it. But I think that I like the idea of Decepticon Junkions, because I like Junkions, but they did tend to be the good guys. And now some Decepticon ones.
Take
you know, I'm going to have a throwdown here, because this is me getting serious now. Because the point is, when we first met the Junkions, they had. I like the music, Alexis. It's like a background constant. But when we saw the Junkions in Transformers the movie, their eyes were red. They looked as though they were Decepticons. They had all
evil.
The hallmarks, of Decepticons.
And they attacked them. And they tried to kill them. And they would have killed them.
and the Autobots fucked off and left Daniel. Go on, Daniel, transform.
First point on me. First point on me, Mick.
For no reason. For no reason. They attacked
them. Then you can buy it.
It was unprovoked attack.
So wouldn't it have been good for the Junkion Decepticon to look like the Autobots, like have blue eyes and have the classic colours of the Autobot? Because I think that role reversal might have been what I would expect from a Decepticon Junkion, because the Junkions already did look like the Decepticons.
Here's an interesting comment from Winter Reaper. Winter makes an interesting comment about Marvel UK Sure Shot. Interesting.
Yeah, there was a switch of the colours, wasn't there? They often did that though in the comic book.
There you go, Mick. Mick. Hearts all round, Mick. Hearts all round.
We've talked a lot about DevCon, and Rohan talked a lot about DevCon as well, obviously, because he's a big fan. So probably won't.
I find it interesting. Obviously, his name's Con, obviously, as well, and like everyone goes, "Oh, he's a Decepticon," but he's not, is he?
Yeah, just DevCon. It sounds like it's a convention.
He's a convention.
People from Devon. Welcome to DevCon. Except I can't speak in a Devon accent.
No one can.
What would a Devon accent be? Is that like, "Hello, my lover"? Welcome to DevCon.
Oh my love! Why did you start off with my
we got some fantastic characters.
It's one of
them.
It's one of them. Banjo.
In a minute.
He's in character. He's waking up the character. That's how you wake up
kayak.
Oh,
kayak. From Family Guy, right?
Why don't you put on his tight swimsuit?
What's the one from Family Guy where they did the Mickey take of the Decepticons and they had the canoe transformer?
Megatron, you're
Negatron, or something called Negatron, and he was just nope, we won't win. Optimus Prime always wins. You think he's dead, but then he's not.
And it's the one where Megatron's going, "Who should we use? Kayak, you can fuck off." And he's like, Kayak's like, "Well, Megatron, one day you'll be floating gently down a secluded river, and you'll need me."
Yeah, exactly.
I won't be there.
When you've got a battle on a slowly moving river, you'll need me to be transformed into a canoe. Anyway,
canoodle mode.
Beachcomber. A lot of people obviously.
He's chunky. I'm sorry, he is chunky, right? He's quite chunky.
Arms and legs are.
Yeah, he looks cool, bro.
Chunky is chunky, right?
And he comes with his little bird and a gun, because he's a pacifist. And his gun turns into his grill.
Is he chunky because they've had to put the 5 mil ports on? Like on his forearm there, for example.
I think it would probably be more to do with the actual design of him and how he transforms. But
why do you need the extra layer there? He could have been a little bit slender, couldn't he? Like he could have.
there will be a reason, which we will discover when he transforms. I see a couple of little peg-like things, so I'm guessing that's something to do with it. Beachcomber,
trying
very
to body shame a transformer, Alexis.
No, I'm just saying he's chunk as a bot. I'm not
Know
saying,
your place.
So
it's a different world now, Alexis.
No, wait a minute.
Junky's beautiful.
Excuse me, Jamie, sir. It's a subjective comment. I felt from Beachcomber.
It's a mean-spirited comment.
From his last mode, he looks chunky.
Invaded Poland. I'm just being objective. Easier.
I was being subjective.
Anyway,
it's my opinion.
Swoop.
Wasn't it objective?
Looks all right. Looks all right. I actually think of all those little Dinobot combiner toys, I quite like his. I think I like his robot mode the best. It looks the best proportioned.
But he's always had the best robot mode.
He's not too chunky for you now, is he, Alexis?
Whereas now he's a chunky boy.
And I love him.
The upper arms. Those legs.
He just brings the thunder, doesn't he?
He ain't got a six-pack, but he brings the keg.
Nothing survives.
I like chunky bots, and I cannot lie. You other brothers better do nigh. When a bot walks in with a skinny bitty waist and a round thing in your face.
I didn't think it was possible for you to sound more white, and you did.
And yet here we are.
Actually, no. Genuinely,
every time we think that,
my next rap is going to be "Baby Got Back," or it'll be called anyway. "Transformers Got Back." That's my next rap.
Anyway, so there's that axle grease in its vehicle
big,
mode, which looks like something from
Beachcomber's big.
Mad Max, and Beachcomber is a deluxe, and there's the little birdie. There's the little birdie.
He's big though. He's quite big for a Beachcomber.
It's a deluxe.
Grease. She's all grease.
Yeah, but a beach buggy is quite small compared to a car.
Well,
like
not necessarily, and let's be brutally honest, scale is not necessarily working in this picture.
It's in the eye of the beholder.
It always is. As a wise man once said. And then Alexis stole it.
Paul's deleted my bloody No, okay, Paul's using his own channel. Damn it, Paul! I've found those.
Well done, Paul.
This one.
Well done. Right, we've hit 2 hours, lads. I think it's time to knock it on the head.
Are we going to wrap up, are we?
Release people back to their lives.
Let's spare people from this misery.
What do you want to end with? What do you want to end with tonight?
Yes, the bird is from the cartoon episode. I think it's from the Golden Lagoon one, because he's trying to protect the whole area and the environment and everything. And I'm sure there's a bit where he has a bird land on his finger or something, and he's kind of like, being as he is a little bit hippie-ish and kind of protect the environment kind of guy. And anyway, they've chucked it in there. I don't know why it's green, though. Was it green in the cartoon? Must have been. Cartoon accuracy. We all love cartoon accuracy.
Right. Twitter, all the rest of it, say goodnight.
Twitter, all the rest. Yeah, Twitter, say goodnight.
Good night, Twitter.
Good night, Instagram.
Let's
see you next week.
Say goodnight, Facebook.
Paul's back in charge next week, hopefully. So
I thought you said say goodnight, Facebook.
And hope you have a good Easter. Enjoy your Easter egg hunts. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
don't eat too much chocolate, other's Alexis will find you and shame you.
I'm a chocolate shamer. Chocolate shamer. So
anyway, I have to amputate something.
Exactly. Enjoy.
Snowblind game. Pick a tune, chick a boon in the world beyond. Got a beat, got a heat on.
Bye.